Next on Cartoon Chat.
I'm telling you, man, every third blink is slower.
The 60s weren't good to you, were they?
This is the Animation Conversation Cartoon Chat. I am one of your hosts, Bryan the Baltimorean. Find me right here on Cartoon Chat, ScreenBlast Society, and at Democracy. Joined alongside,
Yeah!
the MVP of the ScreenBlast Society. It's a fidget spinner.
Oh yeah, Canine Biscuits.
So what on God's... The studio's falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. Mark,
we already know what we're going to talk about today, but I really wanted to, get a Lightning McQueen toy before today, but, I can't get one locally, and it's too late to fucking order one through Amazon and shit.
kapow. There was nothing
at fucking McDonald's set before, my fucking parents lost in storage, a decade ago.
There was nothing over at, Five Below or something that you couldn't just see.
I'm not close enough to a Five Below.
Yeah.
I don't have a bus pass yet, and I'm not going to spend money on a bus pass, but I'm not taking a bus.
There's not a Five Below up on the, if you take that, I'm not going to say where you are exactly, but,
Yeah, dox me. I dare you. I'll dox you. Dox me, I'll dox you. We'll both get pipe bombed.
You can find Mark at Name and Address Withheld. Yeah, man. Of course today...
Bryan lives in a dumpster below fucking the harbor.
You're getting me confused with Grouch, which is my best friend. We both live in trash cans. You know what? You're right. This, of course, is part of the ScreenBlast Society. Before we get into the animation conversation, just want to let you guys know, of course, you can find more stuff here. We've got video game-centric conversations. We've got streaming-focused and theatrical conversations over at ScreenBlast. And we've got chill conversations with Mark and Bryan Avocat. We've got quite a few episodes. You can go back into our backlog. We've got a nice amount of content for you that you can check out. Mark, you got anything that you want to recommend to the people? To the people!
Cowcast is pretty good. We talk about memes and stuff. It's probably the best show on there. I heard the editor is pretty fucking sexy.
I thought that it was our only show, in fact.
Yeah, you shouldn't lie. You should just go watch Cowcast.
Just go watch Cowcast.
And call the editor sexy.
Of course, ScreenBlastPodcast.com. Check it out. Mark, of course, you ended up choosing Cars. And, I'll let you explain in a second why we're doing Cars today. But as we talked about before we started, it seems we can't get out of the 2000s. And there's no reason to go against it.
We were born
in the 90s, and so many of our nostalgic and interesting movies of the times sort of rolled into the 2000s.
I guess we're fucking old. It's our show. Bite me.
But so, Mark.
Hey, we talk about modern shit all the time anyway. That's what ScreenBlast is for.
That is what ScreenBlast is for. I will say though, we are going to talk about Spirited Away. That will be a cartoon chat later, but you can absolutely check that out on ScreenBlast too. Mark, why did you choose Cars? Because of all the choices, Cars. I will say I partially am at fault.
Let me explain, because
please.
You're giving away right now as you speak.
Yes, go.
This is all your fault, by the way.
Go.
So we were watching Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yes.
It's this reminds me. You were like Family Guy, wow, this reminds me of the time I saw Cars 3. Wow, this is weird the time I saw Cars 3. Wow, Cars 3 is a lot like this. Cars 3. And I'm I'd never seen Cars 3, but I'm not watching until I see Cars 2. But, we might as well do a cartoon chat about Cars, so let's just do a whole trilogy. And then, it was going to be the whole trilogy, and you're there's no way we can do the whole trilogy in one video. Or else that video's going to be a fucking 24-hour cartoon chat. So we have to do it one by one. And I'm alright, fine. We'll just do a Cars cartoon chat, but we're only doing this because you kept... We're doing this to get to 3. Because you kept selling me on 3 after we watched Kung Fu Panda 4 because you kept making comparisons.
I literally said, we don't even have to watch 2. We could skip 2. We could just go straight to 3.
That's the principle. I have to see how writing progresses.
Yeah.
So I don't like skipping.
Right.
Unless it's too late. But if I have no other choice, I'll watch the thing and then backtrack. But like, I did it for Mission Impossible. I watched all those fucking Mission Impossible, so just to watch that new one. And I'm gonna try to find a time. I'm going to do it for Planet of the Apes. I'm going to watch all the reboots series for Planet of the Apes before I watch the new one. Cause I've never seen any Planet of the Apes movies.
We saw Godzilla Kong. I think monkey movies, I'm good, you know.
We saw the Monkey Man.
I'm all tied up. I'm good. I don't need to see. And I've seen Monkey Man. I don't need to see another ape movie.
More monkeys.
You know. Anyway.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed. All right. But like, so we're doing Cars, and this is going to be like its own side series. Cars Toon Chat, I guess. I don't know.
Cars Toon.
Make a logo for it or something.
Oh my god.
Cars Toon Chat, because we're going to cover Cars. We're going to have to cover Cars 2, and we're going to cover Cars 3. That's as far as we're going. We're not touching. We'll mention planes and all that other bullshit and Cars on the Road, but like we're not covering those fully. We will cover Cars 4 when that comes out because it's ScreenBlast, and we cover like new movies wherever we can get our hands on. So Cars 4 will be covered. But like,
2 years from now, 2 or 3 years from now, when another Cars
we will cover Cars 4
down,
and we will cover Cars 5 because you know Cars 5 is going to happen.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, Cars is it was interesting because I think we're obviously talking about Cars, and it's one of those movies where like when I went to watch it, it's like I just know this movie back front to back. Like this movie, I know all the beats. I've watched it so many times. It was so significant to my childhood, and it was such a like thing in the mid 2000s. It was such a giant bombshell.
So where's our introduction? So like what was your thoughts when you first heard about it, and like what would you when you seen it after your thoughts after you seen it, like and then you get to your history about it. Like you start first. I know you have more of an affinity for this movie.
So, like, I remember the teaser for it. At least, if I'm not getting that wrong, it was in the Incredibles DVD, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
And that's...
And the DVDs for Pixar films always have, like, the teaser for the next thing.
Right. So, that was my inception point. It wasn't like I was really hopping out of my seat for this movie. It wasn't like, I gotta go see this... oh wow, like Cars. Like, no. It's just that we saw the movie in theaters. I don't know if we saw it more than once. I just remember as a kid, I mean, at this point, it's 2005, it's June, or 2006, so I'm 9 years old, right? And it's just perfect timing. And then I remember probably hundreds of times I watched it on DVD, not the theatrical experience. I remember we're going to talk about it, but all the physical merchandising around the movie, and I remember just the juggernaut that it was. I remember the experience of Cars, not just the movie itself. But again, I've watched it so many times now and most of those times, I haven't watched this movie in several years. Like, this is not a movie that I would ever go back to when I was a teenager, like, because I had no interest in going back to it. Even when Cars 3 came out, I had no care in the world.
That's funny, because I saw Cars in the theaters, and, but, like, I saw The Incredibles for the first time on video, and I wish it was the other way around.
I understand that one. Yeah, I wish that would be nice. That would be nice. But you remember that.
My parents are controlling the trip, so it's like,
yeah.
My parents didn't have, like, the timing or the funds, the time to take into theaters The Incredibles.
Yeah, but you remember being, like, going to the theater to see it.
Yes.
I see.
Okay. I got a story of that one.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man. What did you think going in to it then? Because that's pretty much everything for me on my side. Like, in terms of hearing about it, things like that. I mean, it was because 2006, again, same year as Happy Feet. Like, I remember seeing Happy Feet in theaters, and I remember Happy Feet equally having a massive cable run as well. It was on HBO like all the time. So when you talk about 2006, I remember Monster House, which, those are 2006 movies. I remember those very well.
Monster Blouse.
I remember, I think Surf's Up was also that year. Like, this was a big year with a lot of cool animated movies that I do remember, but it's like, You know, like Cars was one of many, and Cars obviously became much more memorable just because of the story it told. But sorry, go ahead. Go with your sort of intro into Cars itself.
Oh yeah, so young boy Mark was a very big Pixar fan, especially after Finding Nemo. I love that movie like so much after I saw it in the theater and I got the DVD, and like I like violated that DVD from the inside out.
Okay.
Bringing all the imagery. But like no, I went through all the special features in the DVD. That was fun, and that's how I learned most about Pixar. I'm like, I need more Pixar shit. So like, I think eventually I got the Incredibles DVD, and that had a lot of cool shit in it. You know, learn more about Pixar. I got the Monsters Inc. DVD. That had so much special features. That had so much junk on it. That DVD was great. I eventually got the Bugs Life DVD 2-disc set. That was great. And you know, funny enough, you know, there's two titles I'm not mentioning: Toy Story 1 and 2. They didn't get like a fucking DVD release until like later. I think that was like one of the Disney Vault fucking shits they had.
Right.
And like it was like until much later they finally brought them out on DVD with a 2-disc set. Not sure which year it was, but like I know it came late after all those movies I just mentioned.
Yeah, I think wasn't there. Well, there was also the issue, and we're not going to get into it on this one, but the Pixar Disney back and forth was that Disney was, if I'm not mistaken, they were willing to and interested in, because they had the rights to, they wanted to make a Toy Story movie by themselves if the agreement didn't go through, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So like, there's a lot there. Like,
a story that keeps getting passed around is like that. I'm pretty sure you saw the video before. Like, Toy Story was almost deleted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was like because somebody like did a wrong prompt in like the computer command center or something like that, and they accidentally deleted all of Toy Story, and then like one of the ladies saved it, and like she brought her copy in and she saved the movie. That is not 100% true, because that was the Disney version of the movie, and she did save that work they were working on, but that version ended up being deleted anyway because like they were going to reset it so they can make their own version after they like got to deal with Disney for it. But like yeah, it's
But you're collecting DVDs. You're collecting.
Oh yeah, I'm learning about Pixar. I'm a big Pixar fan. Anything that's like with Pixar's name coming out, I'm a big fan of it. And when The Incredibles was coming out, I was like, I need this on DVD immediately. And like, every Pixar thing was coming out on 2-disc. There were some Disney DVDs, a couple, especially during the special edition era,
That's
the
right.
Disney Vault era. It was like they were getting special editions. That was cool. But Pixar, it was like, it wasn't even a special edition. It wasn't even like a special day. It was just like, yeah, it's our movie. We're just coming out on 2-disc. We're gonna give you all the special features in the world. I'm like, you guys are great. This is what's giving me love for DVDs, and like a love for this studio. I know, like I was like know so much about Pixar now, inside and out, because of those DVDs. And so the next movie after The Incredibles was Cars. The teaser trailer to it was weird, but like it was okay. But I was like, you know what? It's Pixar. I'm gonna see it. I love Pixar, and I'm gonna love this movie. And I'm gonna get the 2-disc DVD when that comes out, because that's gonna be exciting. And I'm just going to, you just have a good time. And the movie came out, and it was just like, it wasn't bad. It was all right. It was just like, after seeing like, going from Finding Nemo,
Monsters Inc. Finding Nemo,
for me it was like Monsters Inc. was at the time for me it was okay. The movie later on sunk in as I got older. I liked the movie a lot more.
I see.
But it was mostly like Finding Nemo, Incredibles, and then we go to Cars. And I'm like, that was kind of underwhelming.
That's what's
all right. That was all right. So like I was like, all right, like cause I remember I was like, it's an all right movie. And like I just thought it would be a lot better coming from Pixar. And then like the DVD comes out and it's 1-disc. What the fuck is going on here? I didn't bother getting the DVD. It It was one fucking disc. It was like Cars coming exclusively to DVD, coming to DVD, and it's like usually because like they'll show double disc. They'll because like for the trailers to like the TV spots for like DVD
They'll
releases,
roll out. Yeah, they'll roll out of.
Yeah,
two
they'll show you the
discs.
disc on a side, like coming out of the case.
Right. Yeah.
And like you just saw the one disc for Cars, and like I said, I see it in like Walmart and stuff, just one disc, and it's like, this is nothing. And I'm looking at the back, there's like not much special features. And like the biggest sin, I think I rented it, just so I can see what it was like from the library or something, just so I can see what was on the disc. There was no audio commentary. What the fuck are we doing? Like every Pixar DVD had an audio commentary, but I guess nobody wanted to talk about it. Alright. So this is like an end of an era for Pixar to me, because it was like, it didn't feel like that much love was like put added to this movie's well, for me, for young Mark, it just didn't feel like that much love was like made with this movie as much as the other Pixar movies.
That's understandable, especially with that story there. The other thing that I recall is just growing up post Cars. You know, as someone that started to realize what Pixar was and the theatrical animation landscape, like you brought up earlier, like Cars was the only true controversial movie of the Pixar era when you think about up to about like through 2010, from like 2010, from the beginning of Pixar up to 2010, it's like if you look at the entire lineage of Pixar up to that point, Cars was the only thing that people would rag on in the Pixar lineage, you know.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, that's the one thing about Cars that I do recall, even though I did enjoy it significantly as a kid.
Was it like received lesser? Like I know it was still, I think it was getting good scores critically, but it was like received lesser than most of the other ones.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is this story, and we'll get into it, but this story borrows, and for some reason people really dug at the fact that Pixar borrowed the story, even though there are other stories clearly that have been borrowed before and will obviously after it in the legacy of Pixar. So,
like, I mean,
you know.
I mean, not to spoil my thoughts, but like, I'm not over the moon for this movie, but like, I liked it like a lot more than I did when I was a kid. If that means much.
No, it's very enjoyable. It's very enjoyable
yeah.
for all audiences. Like, that's the thing about, in a sum up, this movie does not lose that thread of still.
Chair.
Yeah, that's all right. This movie does not lose its thread of being like, oh, this is for just kids. Like, no,
for fucking babies.
This is reaching all audiences, and there's a lot of care in trying to reach a lot of people. And I think that that's the one thing that you can't knock Cars for being. It's not just a baby's movie, right? Like, it's
also
really,
for fetuses.
Oh my god. But it really tries to reach out to every audience level, and I think that's why there are so many people. And why, like, notice that
Don't mean to skip ahead, but I think I'm hearing, like, that's a complaint I remember hearing for the second one. It was like, this is for babies.
That one took a step, well, yeah, we'll talk about that, yeah. Let's get into, I want to get into sort of the couple things we're going to move into, obviously. Before we get into Cars, though, I definitely want to talk about just the state, briefly. I want to talk about where Pixar was at the time, right? So, I want to talk about, first off, just this idea, like, okay, so Pixar 2006 and just the lead up
that
to
land was about to stomp on fucking DreamWorks, 20th Century Fox, and Sony, and the ball.
So, like, here's the deal, right? Like, the Pixar impact of theatrical animation, like, it just made studios want to invest in their own CG studios themselves, right? So, like, for a long time, for all of, essentially for the entirety of theatrical animation, for the most part, one person. Hey, it's Mark. For the most part, for the most part, it was traditional animation. But by the turn of the decade, it was just an inconsistent, like, profit churner. It didn't make money, or it was less likely to, right? You could even say that the Disney Renaissance was the last real breadth of hand-drawn animation being this juggernaut force at the box office. Because after that, it kind of just falls off. You know, like, so here's a few, like, for instance, over at Disney, I'm going to name a few. Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Home on the Range, Lilo, Brother Bear. Only 2 of those turned a profit, and that was Lilo and Stitch and Brother Bear. Every other one was either mid or just did not make money. Over at DreamWorks jumped in first by trying to play both sides. They tried to play with Pixar and with Disney's traditional animation. They had Prince of Egypt, they had Road to El Dorado, they had Spirit, they had Sinbad. Those were their traditional animated films. Only one, and that was Prince of Egypt, made profit. The others did not. Over at Fox teamed up with Don Bluth. They made Anastasia and Titan AE.
Did Ants make profit, though?
What's up?
Did Ants make profit?
Because
that was their first CG before Shrek.
But that was like, what, 99? Man, well, let me pause it. But yeah, so, Fox paired up with Don Bluth, who was one of the few hand-drawn animators that actually went up against Disney and won with American Tail back in the 80s. They paired up with him, did not work. Both of those movies, Anastasia and Titan AE, bombed. So, traditional animation was just less and less successful. It was not a worthy investment. And so, just everything went into CG animation, right? Like, audiences were jumping at CG animation, and most of these CG movies were just profitable out the blue, man. Like, you had, for instance, over at Fox invested in Blue Sky Studios. They said, all right, you go ahead and make Ice Age. Ice Age became a success in 2002, kicked off the studio, and it was just immediate. Boom. People loved it.
$1 million, IP, the IP that made millions of dollars, that, Disney just, no, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I will say, by the time Ice Age came around, it ran into the ground, but I have a bigger issue with the way that Disney just does not... I mean, they have such a lion's share of branding that they just don't know how to work with, it seems like.
They have IPs that were, making good money. Like, the Rio IP was making good money, and, they're, because they had, Fox was planning shit for it. And then after they got bought by Disney, it was like, we don't need this shit.
Absolutely. I will say, notably, part of that was that their decision-making toward the end was bad. They had Ferdinand and Spies in Disguise, I think, as their last 2, and then Ron's Gone Wrong. All of those 3 were all...
Ron's Gone Wrong was a different studio. It was Fox, but it wasn't Blue Sky.
Different studio, okay. So
it wasn't Blue... It was still Fox, but it wasn't Blue Sky.
It wasn't Blue Sky. So
it was the studio's first movie. It was like their it was like
just tossed him out, basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I will say they did market that movie, but it just was not a good movie.
Somehow got a McDonald's, barely, but somehow got a McDonald's Happy Meal.
Disney just tossed a little bit of bucks at it, But
reminds me of fucking Strange Magic. Disney
Jesus, never forget.
Fuck, we want Lucas, but fine, we'll turn this shit out. After this, we're not gonna acknowledge it existed.
Right. But
and that movie is more recent than we both remembered.
Strange Magic was much later in time than I considered.
We found out was fucking 2019.
Yeah, it was 2016, 17.
How?
Yeah.
I swear that was 2014 or something.
I thought it was 2012 in my brain.
That had to travel forward in time somehow. That bullshit.
Totally.
I don't believe it. Well, yeah.
Exactly. But point being, CG animation, these were studios that were just sprouting up and were becoming successful out of the blue. Sony jumped in. Sony Pictures Animation jumped in. Their first film came out 2006. Open season, right? Boom. Successful. Disney, not Disney. Disney was the one outlier where they were just a mess. Obviously, we talked about Chicken Little already, but that was a mess, right? So you had just, that's the only outlier, is their methods were not working. But over at DreamWorks, they found their footing. They had Shrek come out in 2001. That turned the tide for them. They completely dropped out of hand-drawn. And they were like, let's keep investing. By the way, they made movies like Shark Tale, which was not an amazing film at all, but it made money, right? CG animation, it just made money. They had Madagascar, Over the Hedge, around the same time as well. So you had a bunch of studios coming to the forefront, and you had studios adjusting to what audiences wanted.
Your strategy was we got celebrities. We got we're gonna list celebrities, and what Shark Tale's gimmick was, we got Will Smith.
Yeah.
And that was their gimmick.
And that was their gimmick.
We got Will Smith.
But it made money.
It did.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was seeing the movie too. Well, I was a dumb kid who wanted to see every fucking colorful movie. So it was
that's the thing. Yeah, that's.
It was like it's colorful and it has colors. It's flashing colors at me and it has Will Smith.
But the difference is flashing colors, bright colors. If it was hand drawn and traditional, was not working. But flashing colors in CG.
Oh yeah.
Don't know what the difference was, but audiences, kids, families, adults jumped at it.
You know what? Even I kind of had the mindset when I was a kid too. It was like 2D. That's old shit. I'm
gonna be honest. I still love because I love Sinbad, DreamWorks and the early DreamWorks stuff outside of El Dorado and Ants.
I didn't hate 2D stuff, and it was just like 2D. I'm kind of getting old with it.
I feel you.
In terms of theatrical movies.
No,
exactly.
Exactly. But the bigger point is, Pixar, through all of this, was still prominent. Like, through all the, here's a new person coming in. Oh, here's a new challenger. Oh, this one's making money. Oh, DreamWorks is actually not doing bad. Oh, like, all of that, everyone knew Pixar was the best. Like, they just made stories that were interesting and just animation quality that was top-notch and better. Like, nothing could beat Pixar in this time period. From the early to mid-2000s, they were a juggernaut force. They would make a ton of money. Notably, obviously, the top of the heap was Finding Nemo, making the most money at the time. And it was Bugs Life, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles. But that run, it's like people were just like, man, Pixar... Not only people, but just accolade-wise... Visually, you could see Pixar was just better than the competition in this new era, you know?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I wish I can be like next. I want to see that giant fucking lamp statue in person.
Yeah.
How many people you think like fucking ran over to that ball and like broke their foot trying to kick it?
Dude, I have a funny idea in my brain where it's like, what if we both like act like we were crushed by the fucking lamp? Like you both laid down.
We both do this pose over the fucking ball, like we start screaming like ah.
Yeah.
Oh, like there's like another joke for like people a similar joke for people who went to the fucking Nintendo World in Universal because they have the paintings from Mario 64. Everyone's making jokes like, how many people are gonna break their skull trying to jump into those paintings?
You know, there's got to be like at least one person every month. At least one person a month.
Hear me? Trying to get into the first level of Mario 64 and crack your fucking skull in the wall.
Hey man, you take a few little edibles or something, that's gonna be real. That's not a fake wall, that's a real wall.
Well, there's people like probably fucking breaking their necks trying to like hit their head on those question blocks. Like,
It's like, you know, the only thing you're gonna get is a fucking Band-Aid, buddy. That's the only thing. You know, nothing else. Alright, let's I'm gonna keep it moving here. Let's get into, so this is the state that Cars is in. We talked about it earlier. Like, Cars is coming in at a point where Pixar's on top, and it's like, what's gonna be next? Because everything they do is gold, and at the time, obviously, Disney is trying to acquire them, and it's not working out well, but it's pretty clear that Pixar is just this juggernaut force that just tells some great stories. So what are they doing in the process? And it obviously is Cars coming up next. That's the world that Cars is in. So I want to talk about the Cars concept, essentially, where Cars came from, right? So the earliest bones of Cars starts with this script concept called the yellow car. Like, he scripted and he designed these characters, and it's essentially like an Ugly Duckling-esque story, right? It's about a small yellow electric car that lives in a world of gas-powered cars, bigger gas-powered cars. And it was potentially, it had a chance to actually be the movie to come out before Toy Story 2. It could have been the 1999 movie that Pixar released.
Yeah, and like Fillmore and Sarge were like side characters in this movie still.
Yeah, like they're there. Like that's what's impressive. Like they are there.
They were more important role. They were like the actual like comic relief sidekicks.
Right. And this was animator Jorgen Klubian that did this.
Who was like the secret like co-producer of this? Goddamn church bells. Co-producer of this movie because like the
Lasseter just ripped him out of this.
Yeah, because like the behind the scenes shit will tell you like John Lasseter came up with the whole idea on a car trip one day, and I don't know, George what was George Clooney? Fucking George Clooney. What the fuck is
George Clooney?
What? What? What is that?
I don't know who you're Lasseter.
No. Jorgen.
Oh, Klubian.
Fucking yeah.
I didn't know if you. I thought you were talking about someone else because it was like so different.
Klubian and like Klubian was like somewhere in the back smoking weed somewhere. I don't know. But like John Lasseter is the one who was like manhandling this whole thing after a car trip and his love of cars. But like no, Jorgen, like he came up with this like 6 years before John Lasseter went on that fucking car trip, and like I think it was like it was possible they wanted this to be like their next movie after A Bug's Life.
Yes.
So
like it was
that early, but like this is not, and like funny enough, this is not one of their There was a famous Pixar lunch where they come up with like all these concepts. This was not one of those movies from that famous Pixar lunch either.
Yeah, this was straight from this guy's soul here, and I was gonna bring up like later on we're gonna talk about it, but one of the production designers, again another behind the scenes thing like you were talking about, where it's like, hey man, like, you know, Lasseter really wanted the eyes to be on the window. It's like, no, that was Klubian. That was Klubian. You can see that he had it in the concept well before. It's like that was not Lasseter. That was Klubian.
Yeah. Also, like the reason they don't like have like eyes on the headlights because like I think they said like it looks too much like a snake.
Snake. Yeah. I was, you know, like. It's funny because I think Herbie Fully Loaded came out around the same time, and it looked fine.
The thing about the Herbie, it's like
it's a cute looking car too.
It's a cute looking car, but like they're not like cartoon eyes. They're just windshields, but like you can see them as eyes.
Right.
It's a personified car in a way. It's not I guess it's not an anthropomorphic car. Is that
right?
I'm using the word anthropomorphic correctly?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So. Yeah, man. But so it moves on. This project moves on into. What's up?
By the way, there was also humans in this old draft too. This was also they were sharing this role of humans.
Yeah, it's like very interesting how just unique this idea was. And one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Lasseter say like, oh yeah, this is not worth like the investment? If I'm not mistaken, I was researching this so long that it was like, hey, like this is not a movie this is not a script that would be strong enough for something we would make. And it's like,
yeah,
but I will say present day Pixar, this is like,
oh, that'll make sense.
This is what they would make. I'm not trying to be a butthole, guys, but this is kind of like, you know, you look at Luca, people talk about, I love Luca. It's a simple story though, and it's beautiful.
I don't like Lightyear. That's a recent one.
And that's another one. Lightyear. Lightyear. I'm not going to talk about Lightyear. It's
It's basic.
Well, it's the fact that they strip so much away. That's my problem.
Meat. Unseasoned white meat.
Unseasoned white.
But like I think I remember this like
yum.
the story for this just being like very lackluster. I know the villain was supposed to be like a hotshot. It's pretty much Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
And the ending of the movie was like. There was a race, but the car loses the race. The main character car loses the race, but the ending is like, oh, but he actually wins because it was to see which car is the most efficient. And I was like, that's lame. I can see why they scrapped it.
I will say now that I didn't see that last part. I didn't see that last part.
That was the ending.
If you can't end it like that, you can't do that. It
was to see which car was the most efficient.
That's like
because he actually won it by being, I guess, himself or some shit. But like it
almost gives a little bit Monsters U vibes. You know what I mean? Little Monsters U vibes here and there.
Yeah, Monsters U, they didn't win. They didn't they actually won one.
They actually, exactly. But I'm saying, like, if they had kept it without them actually winning, like, correctly. Anyway, let's move on to sort of how this...
will be, like, okay, the first two acts of Monsters U is weak, but, like, I will admit that, like, that climax does come around. I'm not trying to be a Monsters U defender, but, like,
no.
but, like, yeah, those that last act comes around.
Well, the thing is, it was never as bad as like everyone kept digging on it.
It's not.
That's the thing. Like
that final act with the like them going to the fucking human world and scaring all those adults. That's fucking good shit.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's like the way that I don't know. That was nuts. Because I remember we both were like, "What the fuck? Why?" Is
Like the first two acts, it's not bad. It's just weak sauce compared to the fucking to the Monsters Inc.
I see. Yeah,
to Monsters Inc. It's just weak sauce. It's still fine. It's still a fine movie, but it's weak sauce compared to Monsters Inc. But like that climax is really good, fucking good though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. All right. So we move on to essentially what became of the Lasseter-led concept that was codenamed Route 66. This essentially was, again, just sort of
forgot the other 6. What the fuck?
Oh, Jesus.
How can you summon Satan without...
So as Mark already alluded to, Lasseter kind of claimed that this concept came from when he went on a family road trip on Route 66. After that, he came back and he started to research Route 66 with some historians. He had the team study documentaries about how interstates impacted Route 66 and the small towns on it, and they started to work on a story that would sort of revolve around it. They then kind of changed up Route 66. Apparently there was a naming problem because there was another show that already had Route 66, so they wanted to tweak that, and thus you end up with...
Then get it canceled.
Jesus. Then you have the... It's weird because apparently Route 66 was a show from like the 50s and he didn't want to... I'm like, just use Route 66.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think Cars is better though because it's more of an international play.
Oh wait, so they didn't use Route 66 because it's a name that's like already used. So they signed on Cars.
Cars, yes. Cars, like the general name Cars, yeah.
Okay, it's already hard enough searching shit for cars in like fucking Google. When I search anything Cars, I'm like, Cars video games. Pixar Cars video games. God damn it.
We saw you like car video games, so here's Need for Speed.
Cars movies. Fast and Furious 1, Pixar Cars movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing. You go for general term. I think that's what sold it more though. Is I think they realized, oh, what if we just called it Cars, and that would have worked more. So. Well,
the original title for A Bug's Life was just going to be called Bugs.
But that's disgusting. like ants,
ew!
Like the reason why Ants didn't make much money is because Ants is disgusting.
Hey, let's go see ants. Oh, you want to see ants?
You want to see ants? Come on.
We have ants in our backyard.
Like we can just look at those fuckers. Yeah.
Mom, can we see ants? We have ants at home. The ants at home.
So
crawling everywhere.
Yeah. So one of the things about Cars, by the time you get to the point where it's actually Cars, is like I just want to touch on some of the technical stuff. So, like we said before, like the eyes idea was cool though because again they wanted to look more human-like. The body language thing is very interesting too.
Again, they weren't the first to come up with that concept. There was like a Disney short.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but there was like a Disney short from like the fucking 50s that had cars with like eyes on the windshield, kind of similar to like the cars we have in this one.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's like dozens of examples of like, oh, what if we use this? And
I think like Tex Avery had a Cars related show with like eyes on the windshield as well.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's much more approachable as well, especially in the world of animation. But the body language was apparently very challenging because they said, oh, we could just back in the day with other. Oh no, that was fast. All right, so the body language was apparently a little difficult because, of course, you're working with a vehicle. You want to give it expressiveness. Apparently, the difference was back in the past, you had movies where, even if they were creatures like in Monsters, Inc., and obviously fish you could reference because they're fish. But with like something like The Incredibles, it's like, oh, they're humans. So if there was a pose or there was something that you needed to animate, you could easily just look at someone doing it. Or you could just record yourself and that's the action. With a car, you have to really kind of adjust. There's a lot more that you have to do to kind of make that feel genuine. I
wonder, like, it's never stated in, like, any fucking interview or anything, but I wonder if anyone took inspiration from, like, the fucking Hornet car from Fighters Megamix.
A Hornet car from Fighters Megamix. I need to see that. I'm going to pause. But yeah, so that was more. I was curious
I
about
was joking,
any
but like,
hints
of course,
any-
no one ever fucking heard of that game.
I mean, I don't know. It's Pixar. I don't know. Maybe, like, oh, let's look at this. Let's look at, like, for reference. You wonder. No,
I feel like most people at Pixar are like Super Nintendo or PlayStation owners.
Most likely.
Yeah, no one bought the Sega Saturn.
But one of the other things was that, of course, they wanted these cars to look very real. They wanted to still have them have the textures realistic, and needed the weight to be realistic too. So it's like, all right, the heaviness, that was one of the keys, was the heaviness needed to be there. And so not only did they add that heaviness, but they also used the same computer applications that, car designers would use. So it's like, all right, let's just get as close as possible, and then obviously animate the faces, things like that. Technical note, during the computers that were developing cars were actually 4 times faster than computers that were developing Incredibles. They were actually 1,000 times faster than those that were developing Toy Story 1. So you're able to get things done quicker. There's a lot of stuff that had to be going on there. And just kind of tells you the breakneck speed of technology. Obviously, CG animation is becoming more mainstream. So, you just look at the innovations coming out of Pixar, too. So, very interesting.
I assume this had to be like a little bit easier to animate than like Toy Story or something, because even though they had to figure out the movements of the cars, I assume after they figure that out, it would like be pretty easy, because these models are pretty like they seem like easy to animate from the looks of it. The way they're like they don't have to like have too many jolts.
I think once they had the core thing down, then it was easier. I think once they actually had, okay, here's what we want them to do, expression-wise, emotion-wise, reaction-wise, I think that's when, once the language and the soul of the vehicles were actually kind of understood, I think that's when, we can just put this platform on anything, basically. You know what I mean? Like, we can interpret this one for this, we can interpret that one with that.
It's just facial expression doing all the work.
Yeah. There's a lot of bending in the body and things like that.
There's a lot. I mean, but like, it's the facial expression. I'm not downplaying it either, but like I'm saying the facial expression is doing most of the work.
That's true. I mean, there's I do love the little tire thing to express, but yeah.
Yeah, they're like nudge your tires.
Yeah. All right. Now we are.
Oh, I just want to say like, just like the look of cars, like the designs of these characters, they're very like iconic for like it's in a way of like toyetic. They translate to toys very well.
Yes.
Like when I see these designs, I think of the toys, and like I remember getting those toys. I like those toys. These are fun to look at, and they're fun to have as toys.
Well, they're all just mascots that could be used anywhere. Like they're especially Lightning. I mean, it could be a mascot for anything. So.
Oh yeah, I had like multiple like Lightning McQueen toys as a kid, whether it was from McDonald's or like some grocery store, small vehicle or something like that.
Right.
Like it's an iconic toy. I would dare say like not more iconic as a character, but I think Lightning McQueen is more iconic as a toy more than the Toy Story cast.
Oh, I mean that's no contest at this point, in terms of the sales data.
Yeah.
like in terms of like I think in our souls we would like Toy Story to be more relevant.
Toy Story has more iconic characters, period. But Lightning McQueen is a more iconic toy.
Yeah, I think like a kid knows what Lightning McQueen is before Buzz Lightyear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think 10 years ago, different. But Cars has stood the test, and I think that here's the thing: when did Toy Story 4 come out? Was that
2019?
Which one was it? Cars last or Toy Story before? Which one was before or after?
Toy Story was the last one.
Okay, so that probably was 2019.
Cars 3 was 2017.
2017. Okay, so
I remember that. I have to look up game shit.
Gotcha. So yeah, toys. Okay. So Cars 2 was
2011, by the way.
There's still a conversation about Cars happening. Like Toy Story, people love Toy Story, but I think all ages still are like, oh, well, can I get this car? And it also helps, by the way, that they modeled these characters off of actual cars. And we're going to talk about that with the cast collection, but it's such a valuable thing because it then adds another layer of what if we could get grown men that are mechanics or any age group or whatever gender that likes cars? It's like, oh, that's a Porsche 911. I love Porsches, not me, but like I'm saying, if someone loves Porsches, they're probably gonna get a collectible of that just because it's a Porsche. Or, oh, that car looks like a street racer from Fast and Furious. You know, the ones that nudge Mac. Oh, what if I got one of those? Like, doing that really adds character. And then referencing vehicles from the past or from the present is just another layer of, like, oh man, like, I want this. Like, just a physical representation of this. So, there's just so many things correlating together in this movie that make merchandising so valuable. You know, like,
oh, yeah.
it's incredible. So, if you didn't have anything else to say, I'm going to move on to the feature focus.
I can imagine, like, for people who like toys, like, like, there's the same factor, like, that this movie has where it's like, when you see Toy Story, whenever they, like, synthesize or anthropomorphize your favorite toy and you see it in Toy Story and it's like, oh, it's that Mr. I had a Mr. Potato Head. It's a Mr. Potato Head. He's in there. Like, I'm not into cars, but I can imagine for people who are into cars, and it's like, oh, it's that car. Oh, it's that car.
Exactly.
It's that car. And it has a face now.
Exactly. That's literally it, right? That's 100% on the money.
I mean,
but the thing is, unlike Toy Story, it's like, imagine, like, I think there's, 15 key characters in Toy Story, like, first one?
Yeah.
Like, first Cars, there's, like, hundreds of options that you can merchandise, right? Like, it's like, oh, we're making bank on this.
The only thing I got that excitement for was, like, the anthropomorphic Pizza Planet truck.
Oh, man.
And I only saw
that
through a YouTube video because it's too quick to catch when in the actual viewing of the movie.
Right. That's right. Alright, so let's get into the feature focus. We're going to get into the stats, the crew, the cast, and then we'll actually talk about the film. So, that was you. For a second I was like, that wasn't my computer. So, let's get into the feature detail. Alright, so this thing came out in 2006. We talked about it. 4th of July, I think it was the weekend. I think 4th of July was on a weekday, early weekday, and then the 9th was the weekend following. This had a runtime of 1 hour and 57 minutes, so just short of 2. It's got a budget of $120 million. And funny enough, we're still talking about $100 million movies today. This still costs more than Puss in Boots. The thing is, though, a $100 million costs way less then than it does now. Or it costs way more than it did. Wait. $100 million means way less now than it did then. So, adjusted for inflation, it's probably a much more expensive movie. You're probably looking
This was, like, in development for a while.
Yeah, this is likely a $200 million movie.
And they
but
did,
adjusted
like,
for inflation.
They did, like, storyboard, like...
A lot.
Yeah, like a different draft completely, so...
Well, I mean, why didn't they do that for... I mean, well, I can't say that about Pixar. I was going to say that's Disney, though. Why didn't they do that for Raya? I mean, that's like $200 million right there. Or fucking Wish. That's $200 million right there. Like, you know. Anyway.
I know those movies... Well,
it's just
I don't know about...
reference.
I don't know jack shit about Raya, but, like, I know, like, Wish had a different concept.
What do you mean? We both know it sucks. What the fuck are you talking about?
I bleed it from my memory. I forgot that movie.
Oh, good. That's the way to go.
Wish is too relevant. Like, Raya was just, like, so bland, but Wish I actively hate, so I have to remember it.
Wish's default character. Raya had potential. That's the problem. $120 million budget. The magic here, though, is... Like, you see the box office earnings, of course, yeah, successful. By the way, box office earnings, it made less domestically than Finding Nemo did. So Finding Nemo was, like, a juggernaut, like, the juggernaut. Like,
deservedly so.
Yes, absolutely. But, like, people think of Cars and they think, oh, man, Cars was, like, fucking huge. It's like, it was not in the box office. Now, it was still big box office. It was the physical media sales. The physical media sales... were so fucking big, like,
I mean,
insane numbers. We're talking.
I'm surprised they didn't look up merchandise sales too.
We're gonna talk about that
at
the end. So physical media sales, like this movie, had such a stretch of success. That's where this movie's key is. It's in the rewatchability, right? We talked about last year the Super Mario Brothers movie just being so easy, like just so digestible, right? Like, but this is this was an easily digestible, just around 2 hour movie that kids love to watch. You could turn it on easily. People will love to buy. Just went and bought it, right? The other thing is, this is a perfect example of why streaming services just cut film distribution off at the knees. Because imagine if you didn't have streaming services and you could still make $300 million in physical media sales. Like, that's a massive run. $300 million. Again, that's massive.
It goes back to my point of like the toyetic designs. It's like something about like good character designs can like just like a movie looking good can just carry you through it, and like
especially CG in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, and like because these designs look toyetic, like to a kid, it's like watching like toys. So it's like it's fun to watch, and I'm like. I like looking at these characters because they just like I think of toys when I see these characters.
Yes, indeed.
And it's like I just think about playing with these characters. So like I don't know, it's weird to explain, but like that's why they're kind of fun to look at for me.
I think oh my god, fucking Lucius.
Is my dog still behind there?
No, it's Lucius. Fuck.
Oh yeah, my dog. Yeah.
Jesus. All right, Lucius.
Don't have animals, folks. I'm just kidding. Have all the animals you want.
I like how Lucian's like, excuse me, but yeah, man, just impressive. Because again, that $314 million run. I mean, that's what. I mean, there's some move there. That's just something where again, you talk about the legs of a movie, and it's just getting to $314 million in physical media sales. That's very impressive, and again, like you talk about streaming services knocking out that chance and just cut like the idea of movie studios just being so ready to jump into the streaming era. It's like, well, the risk is that you just completely lose this entire money window right here. And yeah, so let's keep it going. So of course, when we talk about the feature detail, the sort of crew here, directed by John Lasseter, you had key screenwriters here. Notice you had Jorgen Klubian, who is still credited but essentially knocked out of there. In the grand
only
scheme
getting
of
paid for the original concept. He got fucking shafted.
Yes.
And they hired him back later only to like fucking let him go again in 2008.
Garbage. So yeah, Dan Fogelman again, John Lasseter, Joe Ranft, Keel Murray, and Phil Loren were all credited screenwriters. A story, of course, John Lasseter, Joe Ranft, and again Jorgen Klubian, once again noted there. This was Randy Newman's last non-documentary soundtrack score before his death. And then also the soundtrack includes various artists. We'll talk about the success of the soundtrack as well. That's the other thing, dude.
This soundtrack just feels so much like Toy Story. Like
it does, like, doesn't it?
I had to pause. Like, is that Toy Story music? It's not. But like the instrumentation and the fucking, it's like it feels like canceled, like Toy Story music.
It just feels very, I don't know how to phrase it, homely. Something about the comfort of that Toy Story, the certain triumphant moments. It's just a trademark style that he just finds and smoothly works with. That I think, funny enough, like the whole time when I've watched Toy Story, I've never thought about it as a Cars score because I didn't see it as a Toy Story score. I saw Cars first, so I thought about Cars, not Toy Story. And I think if you come at it from seeing Toy Story first, I could absolutely see, reviewers saying, wow, this feels very derivative of Toy Story. Like, I could easily imagine that could be a critique there, but I think it works very well also.
I think I would say that. I think there's like, oh, this just feels like Pixar.
Yeah.
It was their movie, so.
Absolutely.
And Joe Ranft, who this movie's dedicated to.
Yes.
He, tragically died, a year before this movie came out, if I remember. And,
yes, indeed.
And, I don't mean to fucking downplay his death, but it was ironically to Cars.
Yes. Unfortunately. We'll talk about
destroyed destroyed by the very thing he created.
Yeah, the tale that this movie tells is interesting, and we'll talk about it though later. Let's get into the cast though. So, did this little fun thing here. I was like, all right, so you got to connect. You got to do three things here. You got to tell the actor's name. gotta tell the characters' names.
You got the fucking real cars
and
next
the real
to them.
cars. So, but again, we're like going back to the core point. How much more significant is it for all ages? Like, not just, oh, kids want to collect these cars, but like, oh, this is literally an interpretation of a car that someone might have had as a kid, or a dream car that someone wanted, or a car that you just saw down the street that you liked, right? Like, I think there's something significant, and there is something significant about connecting these cars so closely to real vehicles. You know, like, again, like you have Owen Wilson playing Lightning McQueen.
Oh wow, he does.
Wow,
Wow.
kapow. But the weird thing is, like, so Owen Wilson. Okay, we got to talk about Lightning McQueen for just a second here, because I've gotten in quite a few debates as a car fan. Quite a few debates, notably during my late elementary school, early middle school years, about what Lightning McQueen is. And some people said he's a Corvette. Some people said he's like, I stand on the fact that he's a Dodge Viper. The Dodge Viper is in the picture at the bottom. I think that he just looks like a Dodge Viper. Now,
those cars like have stickers for windshields. Like, it's a car. Apparently, he's a car that has no not windshields. Headlights. He's a car with no head. He's a race car with no headlights.
Yes, but well, that's just because he's a stock car. I mean, we can't really judge the stock because that.
Is there any race cars that are like him?
What do you mean?
Like that, like
in real NASCAR? No.
Okay. I assume there was like a
because like those curves weren't really in NASCAR by that point. It was much more boxy, and there were a few curves, but it's more all aerodynamic and everything's it's not really. It's more boxy than anything, and that's kind of NASCAR. But at the time,
again, he's a very well designed car, because it's like. It's also most of the colors of the red and like the yellow stickers, rusty. Again, was like a really good toy. It's a really good looking toy.
Yes, I do find it funny though that like the main character does not like the branding that he's in the beginning. He doesn't like. We attach to it, especially the kid. Like as a kid, we attach to this design, but this is just like it's just a sticker set. That's all this is. Like, he doesn't like the branding, but all we see, especially when we're kids, is this branding. The 95, the this and that.
He doesn't look right without the fucking rusty stickers.
Yeah, any other adaptation of his design feels off.
Like, you know, in the middle of the movie. It's a nice looking design, but it's not as iconic as his regular design.
Yeah, and that just shows that how particular things sell. Let's move on. Obviously, Larry the Cable Guy, big moment for him here. And he just has such a distinct voice, so it just fits. But he's Tow Mater. He's Mater, as most of us call him, just Mater. But, he's a 1955 Chevy Task Force tow truck. This is just, again, it's another cool idea. Like, all right, we could just make a tow truck. They could have made a tow truck. But no, like, what if we referenced what if we reference a design that is beloved or is from a time that people might like? Of course, remember, there are still baby boomers out there that, are just still have a lot of money in their pockets, and it's like, oh, we can definitely reference this. They might want to buy this. We could reach out to all demographics here with what we reference. Bonnie Hunt plays Sally. She is a Carrera. And the Carrera is a again, it's 911. It's one of the most iconic cars of all time. The Porsche 911 changes very little. There's very little.
It's called 911.
It was 911 for decades. It was not before. Don't worry. Don't. I know what you're thinking, but no, it has nothing to do with 911.
So there's been a second Porsche.
So Jesus, but yeah, Sally there. Again, that's just, hey, here's a popular recent car. That's one of the things that I think is a problem with the newer Cars movies, is Cars 3 notably, like, now Cars 2 doesn't have this problem, they do a lot of references, but Cars 3 notably does not, like, they kind of make their own cars. It's weird. Like, they just kind of, like, go, like, what if we just don't reference cars? Like, actual cars. And I think that it takes a little bit of soul out of the movie, because this was magic. This was very cool. Like, you get to see these interpretations. There's Doc Hudson, Paul Newman. I believe he died before, around the time this movie came out, or something like that. But Doc Hudson, he plays he's the 1951 Hudson Hornet. This is probably the closest to actual car that there is in the movie, the main characters, because he just looks right, exactly like the real car.
That's him. They just took out his eyes.
Exactly, right?
His eyes are gone.
You've got Mac, who's played by...
I ain't no Mac!
Who's played by John Ratzenberger, who, of course, is just all over Pixar. Of course, you have the end credits.
Hey, these guys are just using the same voice actor in every movie. What kind of sham are they running?
In terms of other characters, I could have kept going, but I did lose a slide.
Ka-chika!
I did lose a slide because of Canva, so I'm gonna stop using. I'm only gonna use Canva in short periods now and just go straight to PowerPoint because I don't know what happened there, but I lost a slide that had all the Radiator Springs characters. This took a little while to build up, so I was really pissed to lose that. But if you talk about the Piston Cup characters, you had the
what in his cup?
Yeah, Richard Petty, the King, played. He's and again, this is a legendary NASCAR racer. This is a real NASCAR racer, right? So very cool. And again, this is another notable car. This is just that's a real car right there. It's here's a 1970 Plymouth. You don't have to do it. You didn't even have to reference it, but cool choice. Chick Hicks, played by, I didn't realize it was Michael Keaton this whole time. Did not realize Michael Keaton this entire time. I just grown up with the movie and did not realize and did not connect the voice to the character. So he's just a common 1980s stock car, right? So again, referencing a time period that it's this movie comes out in 2006. If there's kids or teenagers, they're middle-aged or they're a little bit younger or a little bit older, and they remember that point in time when NASCAR was more boxy. So it's just a good idea to reference. And then, of course, you have the two here for the Rusteze team, Dusty and Rusty.
Oh, I have them listed. Are they famous?
So they're actually part of a legendary podcast called Car Talk, and they actually they're pretty cool in terms of the way that they're dead, obviously, but they're just a brother duo that talked about cars and had a long-running podcast. So, and it's cool that they're the Rusteze team. So, 1967 Dodge. I had no clue about this car, but if you had, it would be interesting. Then a Dodge Dart, right? Again, that's the whole point here. It's look at that. These are just cool. This is just a cool idea. What if we just actually sourced from something? We started somewhere, and then we made a soul out of those cars. I think it's a good idea, and you can just go from there.
Oh yeah, another weird casting to talk about. Well, not weird. It's just
it is weird.
Everything's weird. But the Lightning McQueen's agent Harv, he has two different voice actors.
Yes, indeed.
Were you gonna bring that up?
So yeah, he has I think here's the thing. You have the British voice actor. You have the
UK.
Yeah. You have the UK voice actor. The thing about him is he's Jeremy Clarkson. He hosted Top Gear for decades. He is one of the most iconic names in all of sports. I mean, of all of automobiles. He is known around the world. He's much older now, but great presenter, awesome voice, perfect for the role. But I love the American voice just because he sounds like an arrogant asshole. It just fits to me. To me, he's just he sounds like that California, yeah, kid, whatever you want, yeah, we got you, yeah, we'll just cover that. Yeah, what do you want? What? No, I'm not coming down there, no, why would I do that? That voice to me that whole time, again, I've grown up with this movie, so it just kind of calls back, I guess, but it just feels like that American voice actor just fits the role better. And I don't know if it's because of nostalgia or not, but it just feels like it fits better because, Jeremy Clarkson feels too nice for the role, is what I'm saying. The British voice actor feels too nice for the role compared to the American voice actor who just is yeah, kid, yeah, you want some more you got some more sponsor stuff coming. Go ahead and go get Dynaco, man. We got to get you up. Come on. What are you doing? Stop wasting time. I love the American voice actor.
Yeah, it's weird that Disney doesn't have the UK version on Disney Plus, and they have our version.
It's weird, yeah.
Because we didn't get to mention this for Chicken Little because I forgot to mention it. But Buck Cluck has two voice actors too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has an Australian voice actor. And
oh my god,
he has a different voice in Australia, and like Disney Plus has the option if you want to listen to the Australian English version, and it's just I forgot who the other actor is, but like he has different lines for Butt Cluck in that version.
I think
he's another famous guy.
I think it makes sense because Butt Cluck is so Americanized. Like he's got like a New Yorker accent. Over here. It's over there. It's over here. It's over here.
Oh yeah, I like his. Also, I like his American voice actor better. But
yeah, it fits. I think if you're gonna go out, if you're gonna go,
get a chance, just look up his like fucking. Australian voice actor.
Absolutely. All right. So moving on. Of course, and like we were talking about, of course, like all these characters having their almost lifelike interpretations or being based from real vehicles. It adds a bit of interest, right? Like, and some of these vehicles, you know, it's like some people have made custom versions where, oh, here's the eyes, right? But one of the cool things is like Porsche actually made like a model, right, of the actual Sally vehicle. So like if you had any like romantic intentions and you actually liked Sally, right? Like, boom, you know, you could see, you know, like, see, you go.
That looks less attractive, like when it's like not animated. Well, it honestly looks creepy.
Well, yeah, it looks creepy. It has eyes. Yeah, what do you mean? It's a car with eyes. Yeah, when it's in real life, of course. Yeah, it's creepy. But, you know, some people, you know, it's like, hey, you know, you might like Sally. So there you go. You get to really see Sally. And that's not creepy at all. So, with that nightmare fuel out of the way, Mark.
The car in the Cars movie is like, hey, this character's attractive. But, like, in real life, like, oh my god, that thing's gonna eat me. Like, I don't want my crotch anywhere near that thing. Like,
yeah, it's tough. Let's go ahead.
It's gonna take like one bite.
Like
if that thing ever gets between your legs, it's just taking one. It's just taking a
giant chunk.
Giant bite. Like,
Don't be fooled. That smile. That's got murderous intent right there. Like, be careful.
That should be like, dude, fucking. We're getting horror movies about everything going to public domain. Just give like another fucking 90-something years.
Can't you just make cars with fucking teeth? You could just do that. You don't need.
Nah, they want Lightning McQueen.
Wasn't that the whole thing with the Hello Governor from Regular Show? It was like Hello Governor, and it was like a car that got teeth and like was chomping at people.
Nah, they want the real deal. So like, give it 90-something years, or probably. Like,
you're telling me I can't make a Cars
years.
movie? I can't make a Cars movie. Like, I could just...
No, it's gotta be with Lightning McQueen. It has to be someone with your childhood.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, 80-something years, it'll be in a public domain, and we'll get, like, fucking the Lightning McQueen horror movie.
The pride of my life will be that I made a fucking knockoff Cars movie. Alright, before we get to the movie, let's look at a commercial that promoted it.
Ah, isn't it beautiful, McQueen?
Yeah, Sally, it sure is.
Wow, love those curves.
So do I.
Yeah!
Come on, just have a little fun.
Hello. Sure is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
With the new fun collection from Hertz, the Fun Reserve is the fun you'll drive. Reserve the make and model you want. Let's Cars, the new Disney Pixar film, only in theaters.
That was a real...
I'm just
I remember seeing that.
That's a real commercial, by the way. You were talking about, like,
I've never seen those cars, like, my McQueen's been like, yeah!
Because we were talking about this off camera, like you know, it's like we don't need to get deep into it, but there is some strange, like, crude humor of like human romanticism and lustfulness within the cars.
Let's get out of the way now. This world raises
Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, this whole world universe just raises a lot of questions because there's a lot of things that looks like it should be handled by humans, but like. It doesn't seem like within the lore there's like humans to be.
Oh no! No, you go do some lore. You go do some deep YouTube fucking essays, and they've got the
fucking
answers.
Pixar theory.
They've got the answers.
Fuck the Pixar theory.
They've got the answers for you. Where it's like some dystopian future where cars took over and.
It's supposed to be because of WALL-E has a dystopian future, but no. At the end of WALL-E, they had like fucking the humans take back society because they found a fucking plant.
Mm-hmm.
And they find they kind of contradict shit. Pixar theory's bullshit. And then also the fucking people at Pixar hate the Pixar theory. Like that doesn't exist. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey man, tell YouTube that. That's like how that's a huge.
You
Chunk
mean the internet? And
The
like
internet.
fucking, it's not even just from YouTube. It was from like fucking Pixar Theory's been there for like a long time.
A long time, a lot of blogs. Yep.
But like
Yeah, man. But yeah, just the idea of like, you know, like yeah, they're just humans basically. They're humans in cars, because like they have this insatiable like interest with each other, and you know, like they clearly have social lives.
It
and,
made sense when the original draft was like it was a world shared by humans in cars, it was just cars.
because they would be mimicking what humans did, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I'm just running on theories here, but like when it's
just how the cars made like a movie with a similar kind of world, but like it makes more sense as like Blue Sky's Robots.
oh my yeah, well yeah, that it kind of
Because they build, instead of like having
kids,
making kids sexually, they build their kids.
but they also
There was like that
still,
infamous scene, like, do you want a boy or a girl? And he grabs a piece off screen.
exactly.
Like, as we want the boy, BAM!
But the,
He hammers in the penis. That's actually the scene in the movie. That's like the opening scene in the movie.
indeed, but I mean, they also imply that they have like lustful intentions in robots.
I guess they also, well, yeah, that too, and they were also implied like they were like, I guess the movie's oddly progressive because like robots can be just gender fluid.
Yes.
Because like he had to go through school with hand-me-down parts from like one of his female relatives, and he just like had boobs.
Yeah.
And like I guess society was just okay with that, so the movie was like no one brings it up, but the movie was oddly progressive, I guess.
I mean, I feel it. You know, I mean, I need to rewatch Robots. Maybe that'll be a cartoon chat in 2035. I don't have any rush to do a Robots cartoon chat.
2030. Let's delay to 2037.
I agree.
2038 maybe. 2040.
Yeah.
After fucking Florida's underwater, maybe.
I agree with that. Let's hold it until there's more important stuff happening around the globe, and then we can't do cartoon chat anymore. And then like the Earth is burning so much that internet doesn't work.
The last cartoon chat is a robot. Is Blue Sky's fucking robots.
Yeah, the Ron robot. Yeah.
Well, like there's not like pun names. California's not Carsifornia, it's just California.
Yeah.
Interesting video. That's probably similar. That like kind of like makes sense of this world. It's like this world is just like our world, but like with cars. So like that means they have like history, the same history, but with cars. Look up, pause the recording and look up a video called Kitty History.
I don't want to do this. Three, two,
do that.
one.
It's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Oh fuck! You got it. All right, so that was a fun little tangent. Kitty History, great stuff.
Yeah,
Mark. Thank you very much.
that's the Cars universe.
So that's the car universe.
They had Car Slaves, Cars JFK,
All of it.
Car Wars with Iraq, Cars Iraq,
I mean, that does make sense because there's a car, Jay Leno, that was hosting the Tonight Show. At the time.
Jay Limo.
Yeah, so like, and there's Arnold Schwarzenegger as a car. Like, all of it is
I forgot what the name of that one was.
pound for pound. Like, all of it is like pound for pound, like literally just real life, but cars. So if you want to literally go that far down the line, that's what Cars is. Simple and easy, right? Like, not too difficult to follow. So, yeah, that's Cars. So let's get off of the, lustfulness of cars that some people have and move on to the actual story here. We'll start with, obviously, the beginning. We're going to go into fragments here, just separating things, kind of like how we do on Cartoon Chat.
am Speed.
So here we go. I am Speed, 1 winner, 42 losers. And that's where we are, of course. I think this is a beautiful introduction.
Yeah,
I love this.
Also,
very
this
much.
is a detail I forgot because I haven't seen the movie in a while. But like, I thought I originally thought like Lightning McQueen was in it for a while, but like he's a new rookie in the scene, and he hasn't like won a full championship yet. But he's just like he came out of nowhere. He won a couple races, and now he's like now he's like the new hotshot. He's a new youngin, like star.
Yes.
For, like in terms of this racing sport.
Yes, we jump into the Piston Cup Championship, essentially the chase for the cup, where you have 43 racers there. You have 43 racers on the track, and at the moment you've got a three-way. What's cool is before I get to the full point of what's happening here, the environment's set up really well, right? The lighting's great. The stage is awesome. The size of the it's larger than life, and I love that that's on purpose.
Okay,
like,
so I gotta say,
they use this platform on purpose, where it's like everything's bigger than it really is, but it gives this sense of real presence to the audience, or not the audience, but the spectators. And I think that's very cool. And the racing itself too is like made very awesome. It feels like very just right out of NASCAR, but just obviously a little more animated, a little more bouncy than something like actually NASCAR.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I saw this movie just yesterday with like my HD TV, and like it's a 2006 movie, and it still aged really well. I guess because like cars are easy to model for, because we still have like you know, the Gran Turismo games usually like most of these like car simulator games, they usually age well because they like have the like some of them usually.
I can't.
At least the car models themselves.
Like, I think this world gives it timelessness. The way that Pixar designed this world work, because Gran Turismo, if you play Gran Turismo 4, it does look aged technology wise. Like, if they were chasing after technology wise, like, oh, we want it to look so like, I think it's just how the environments look in this world, how the world is crafted from a design language gives it that timelessness. Because if they went for full realism, I think that's where this movie would have looked dated, because they couldn't have made it. Because, you know, like, you have like Cars 2 does look better than Cars 1, but Cars 1 still looks great.
Yeah. Well, when I look at Incredibles, I was like, yeah, that's 2005 CG. Yeah, that's like Finding Nemo. Yeah, that's 2004 CG. Monsters Inc. Like, yeah, that's 2003 CG. They still look good, but like you can tell like the era. But like Cars just still looks like modern, honestly.
Yes. There's something about it where, it just feels timeless, and it probably goes back to, like you said, that toy nature, or that nature where it's like, it feels like these are mascots. It doesn't feel like really like, I don't know, there's something about it where it just holds better than anything. Like, the closest thing is Finding Nemo. I think Finding Nemo's, it's dated definitely, but it's still beautiful. But it's the closest thing.
I think it's the humans that give it away.
The humans definitely give it away. Yeah, once you get to the human world, you get to see the setting, the actual, like, the streets and everything. That's when it's, oh, we're in 2002 or 3 or whatever year that was. But in Incredibles, of course, the only real, I mean, there are moments where you can definitely notice it, but there are others where it looks great. But it's definitely aged. But yeah, this is, like you said, not to just pair it off of what you said, but looks great for it.
Also, I like that song. We're gone.
Real Gone, again, when we talk about this soundtrack, like, it starts off with a fucking boom with Real Gone, like, because it puts you right in the moment. You're hyped to start watching this race. And maybe, again,
that energetic start.
Could be the nostalgia, but it's just a great place to start. They have Bob Costas and Dale Waltrip. They're the announcers. And, again, these are sports announcers. And a sports announcer and a real classic race car driver. And they both, like, fit that very well. Because when they lay out what's happening on the track, it feels like you're right in the race.
A lot of these movies just like to get real sports announcers for like whenever there's like a sport. They usually try to. Space Jam 2 does it. Oh, the Knuckle Show does it for like the bowling scene. There's like real sports announcers for that. I guess like here too it happens. So like while we're on the subject of like the racing scene, the teaser for this. It always weirded me out because it's like, if you remember the teaser, it was like, was Mater and Lightning McQueen watching like a fake trailer to their movie? Because Lightning McQueen was like not in it, the movie they were watching. Do you remember the teaser?
It's like inside, it's like weird fourth wall, like, hey, yeah, I think they wanted to use them as mascots that are also in the movie, which is weird. I
still to this day, like, I'm trying to get what the trailer was. It was like, I get it was a showcase to World of Cars. Like, it was good at showcasing, like, this world is made up of cars and only cars. But at the same time, it was like, why isn't the main character in the race? Why are we seeing Light McQueen racing? Why are we just seeing Mater and Light McQueen watching a movie? I mean, it does start off weird. It does fool you the way the trailer starts, because you just see the behind the back view and you assume like it's a driver, like, cause like you just see Mater, you see like a car drove by and you see like the pickup truck just like jumping like ow, 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 ew. And it's like the camera slowly turns and you see like, no, it's not a driver. The whole car is talking. That's a face.
Exactly right. And again, like it's I don't know what the take was, but it was one of those where it just kind of, I think it still again, I think it's one of those things where I think they were so impressed with their own technology that they just were like, yeah, we're just gonna use these as mascots. Like there's gonna be mascots anyway. Like, you know, I think that's what that was.
Yeah,
about.
it's just that like it's just that movie scene where like I'm still not sure what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, but either way, so again, back to the race. There's a couple cool things here that we learn immediately. Of course, it's not just that they're racing. It's that, okay, you get the idea of what's going on, but you also get to see sort of our main character's moral compass. Because not only is he obviously, like you had said, he's not just a rookie, but he's also just this guy that's like, all right, like, I'm going to do this myself. Like, I'm going to get this done. And he's careless toward his team, right? Like, he's going to do what no one else is going to do at the sacrifice of being careless toward those that are supposed to support him. And he's not as, like, arrogant as Chick Hicks, but I guess in a way you could say he is, but it's, like, in a different energy. Like,
yeah.
You know, and then you have, again, the old standard of the king there that's just kind of casual, calm, collected, but still getting...
Oh, no. Here's the thing. I think, like, him and Chick Hicks are, like, the same kind of arrogant. The only thing is, like, Lightning's character throughout the movie progresses, and like you just see Chick's character like just stays that way.
Stale.
And that's
right.
like the dynamic going on, and it's like that's the fun of it.
He's stuck in the time. He's stuck where he is. Chick Hicks. Yeah, like and again, he's never gotten to win. It's like, all right, that's a cool dilemma there. Three-way. You know, we get so. What's up?
Yeah, the dynamic of everything kind of reminds me of like the Emperor's New Groove, where Cusco is just kind of a dick to everybody, but like he comes around, like he meets one dude and like he meets like everyone around the one dude, and like he kind of grows to be less selfish throughout the movie.
I mean, it's
like you know, him and Yzma are like just as selfish, but like you know, Yzma is just like of course the villain, so she stays the way she is.
Unfortunately, but that's just how the story was to go.
Not unfortunately, Yzma.
No, you know, Yzma is you know, if it was Disney in like late 2010, they'd do some sort of redemption arc.
No, if it's Disney now, they'll make a live action movie about Yzma being good.
Yes. Well,
so Disney now.
Yes. So let's see. So yeah, the arrogance that Lightning McQueen presents, you know, he's doing a great job, but. Again, he didn't care about his team, and he didn't care about what he's actually what the needs of what he was actually supposed to do. So, you know, blows a tire in the final lap. And again, I think this is again like a great moment because there's a lot of tension here, and again, it lays out the track very well. You know what turn he's in. I think that the way that they shoot this or do cinematography here in this CG space is done very well because you know what turn he's on. And in relation to everyone else, which brings the tension of this final sequence in for the race. You know what I mean? Like when his tire blows in one corner and they're back here, it's like, okay, so how close are they now? They're up there and he's only on this corner. And then he's down the stretch and you then see them appear. I think that it's a great visual. They do a good job of actually directing and visually showing where the vehicles are, where the other two are.
Also, like, I don't really care too much for NASCAR or watching it live, but, like, I would totally watch, like, a NASCAR with Duke Kaboom in it, because I know there's going to be chaos. I don't mean to sound mean, but, like, I don't really care for racing or NASCAR, but, like, I mean, if there's crashes, that sounds interesting.
Oh my god.
I know, I get that reaction every time I mention, like...
Well, that's the thing, is, like, I mean, NASCAR, unfortunately, that's the one thing, is, like, it's not an exciting sport for a lot of people. I don't watch it. Like, I don't watch it on purpose. And most of the time, it only trends when there is an incident. And I think the thing that makes people more excited is when it was more dangerous. But when they started putting more safety regulations in, it was necessary, but it killed a lot of the intrigue of the league, of the racing league, because you make it more safe, there's not that edge that people were really clamoring for. So you know that there's not as much of a risk. And there is still risk, but it's not as big, a lot of people think. So.
And I remember I was like in a Uber, and like the Uber driver was talking like, yeah, you're in a NASCAR, and like I was like, not really. I think like I'm probably only interested if I see like crashes, and then I realized, oh shit, I said that out loud, and like the reaction from the instructor, like Jesus,
he's like friends of a NASCAR driver. You're over here. No, if one of them dies, I mean, I'd be happy. Yeah.
Like I'm just not interested in the sport, honestly. It's like that's. I guess like something more my style probably be like a destruction derby or monster truck rally, but like I mean that's what I'm not interested. It's like I'm just not interested in like just seeing cars go on the lap. I'll play video games. Yeah. I'll be if I'm in the car or if I'm controlling the car, sure thing. But I mean watching the car.
It's tough, yeah, because I'd much rather like I'll watch a few laps, but then I'm much more interested in playing the game. Like if I'm watching someone playing Mario Kart, I don't want to watch. Like, and Mario Kart's even interesting. Mario Kart, to me, is more fascinating because there's more going on.
There's chaos in that. People are getting hit by items.
But, like, even then, it's like, I don't even want to sit back and watch that, and that's way more engaging. Yeah. Like, I want to play Mario Kart immediately. Like, I want to play these things, or I want to interact with these things. I want to go to a go-kart track and start racing, you know, instead of just going and watching something that is racing. So, yeah, either way, so the race comes down to the last second, you know, it ends up in a 3-way tie, and, you know, like...
And that's the reason it raises even more questions about these fucking cars and enemies, because McQueen has a long-ass tongue.
Yes, and we're not going to get any more into the humanistic thing of the cars. It's... You could either talk about...
I'm pretty sure a fan made like an...
They did, but the organs on the inside.
Oh god, that's gotta be scary to look at.
Yes, it is. Just don't think about it.
You've seen it, haven't you?
Yes, just don't think about it. Right? So, you know, it's like, here's the thing, right? Like, so the lead up to the reveal, you have the king talking to Lightning, and, you know, it's like, hey man, like, Lightning's super confident that he won. He's super casual. Like, you know, he's not caring what the king has to say. He doesn't even care about his team. In fact, his team quit on him because it's like, hey man, you didn't care when we said pit. You didn't care. His crew chief left, and now it's just the guy's changing his tires and fuel left because he said he could do it on his own. And the king's trying to tell him, hey man, you're being stupid. Like, you're a great driver, but you're stupid.
Hey, so he straight up tell him, but you're stupid. And he's like, what?
But you're stupid. And yeah, he tells him that, and he doesn't even listen to that. He's already thinking about, oh man, I need a new team. And he sees Dynaco, and you know and it's like he imagines himself like with groupies and in Los Angeles and in movies and like what could be basically. Yes. He's seeing himself on top of the world and not taking anyone else with him on that ride.
Is Dynaco supposed to be like a beer sponsor? Like
Dynaco's like gas. I think it's supposed to be like gas because of course like fossils are like fossil fuels and fuel. Like I think it's supposed to be like Sunoco. Or something like that.
Oh, shit, was Dynaco in Toy Story? There was some kind of gas station that starts with a D.
It probably was Dynaco. Probably was. Obviously, you had the Lightyear tires blimp.
Yeah.
Of course. Sad that it's basically not as relevant anymore because people don't look up anymore. So the Goodyear blimp is kind of irrelevant now because people are always on their phones, so they find it less relevant to go out there.
Again, more questions. You see, like, anthropomorphic, like, it's not just anthropomorphic cars. There's anthropomorphic blimp, anthropomorphic planes.
The thing about the blimp is even more creepy because, like, his body is the window, but his brain, like, the whole body is the blimp.
He's all brains!
So it's like, what is...
And is he stuck up there? What happens if he has it deflated?
Yeah, it's a whole...
Is he just, like, is he handicapped? If it's just, like...
It's a whole can of worms. So... He learns Lightning learns it's a 3-way race. He embarrassingly jumps up there first, you know. By the way, I love Michael. Once I realized it was Michael Keaton, I was like, man, this delivery is great. I used to think Chick Hicks was a butthole as a kid. Now it's like he's just funny. You know, it's like, you know, Lightning. I wouldn't think about it. You know, I wouldn't think about it because it wasn't me. Like, you know, it's just some sly remarks there, kind of like an uncle.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, man, I want to get out of here. I want to get to the race. I want to get to the next thing. But he has to talk to his sponsors, Rusteze. You know what I mean? So he's got to deal with Rusteze medicated bumper oil, and it's like, again, very funny that, like, man, he does not actually like the stickers that are on him, even though that's so synonymous with his character design now. Like, from the jump, because you see that character design, you see Rusteze, you see the color coordination, you immediately think Lightning McQueen. And, it's like he doesn't even like that sponsor. Even though these are his diehard fans. Like, it tells you again, what type of person he is, right? Like, he does not care. He does not want to be there.
They're all old, like, dirty people that, like, gets in his personal space.
But the thing is, they love that he's there, right? Like, that's the one thing that he's not accounting for, is like, well, they're the ones that are, like, at least appreciative of him. And he still doesn't, like, even if they're, like, gross, rusty cars, it's like, man, like, you should appreciate the people that are backing you, basically.
I like the joke that he hides behind a standee of himself. Like that was gonna work.
Yeah. It was weird, because he was trying to get to the trailer. I don't know what his plan was when he got to the trailer. Like, he was gonna lift it up and then leave, but, like, there was no way to get out of that. I don't know, I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, so they boot it, they get out of there. And, then you get to the Life is a Highway segment.
Life is a highway. That's the song that gets stuck in my head the most. I wanna ride it.
Yeah, and
Don't think too much, will be copyrighted.
Again, this is another great soundtrack piece here. Again, this soundtrack was awesome. I had the soundtrack as a kid, and listened to it all the time. But, like, this was just a beautiful montage of open road driving. Right? It's a great just what it feels like, the open expanse, traveling, that sort of thing. You also get the perspective of what Lightning is going through, basically. Let me pause it real quick. But yeah, man, like, it's like I said, great soundtrack piece, but also just you feel the flow. I think there's a couple of notes here and there, like not notes in the music, but there's a couple like moments where you have like there's the beauty of nature, and then you just see a highway cutting through it. There's like a top-down shot, and I don't know if they're trying to imply that highways do ruin nature, because it comes back to the theme of the actual movie that they get to later on about highways and the impact. But like there is that one moment in the Life is a Highway montage where there's a highway that just cuts through nature, and it just kind of feels out of place in this sequence here, which could be just another point, but beautiful moment. Because it's just open road driving. What did you think about this this point here?
It shows how far Pixar's come since like Incredibles and like Finding Nemo, because they've gotten better with like environments, like and this is a really nice like sequence, really beautiful. You can definitely this is like definitely like where John Lasseter is showing his inspiration for like his road trip.
Yeah. I was tired of driving. I tell you, that's what I remember. I was tired of driving. So we're gonna put that in this movie.
I mean, if this was like based off my experience, it would just be like me looking at the back of an Uber seat for this.
Life is on. That's just staring at a fucking cushion, a car cushion. Yeah.
Or like a phone screen.
Absolutely.
Fucking scrolling through fucking lewds on fucking social media. Like, why am I getting so many of these?
So we get to see what Lightning's life is on the road, by the way, and it's just that he's surrounded by himself. There's a lot of egocentric stuff. Here's merchandise. Here's some more merchandise. It's all over you. And the one connection he does have is this agent. We talked about it during the voice cast. But, the American voice, to me, again, it fits. Because, again, it's just this sly kind of like, oh, whatever, kid. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we're friends. Whatever, yeah. You get out there. You get ahead of the team. And you get ahead of everyone else and you get there early. So
I think there's somebody made a fucking stupid meme where they voiced over Harv from this movie. And they're like, Lightning McQueen, it's all over the news.
Oh my god, what's wrong?
The allegations of you with
no.
that fucking
no.
kid. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my god, dude. Ridiculous.
Sorry, just pause it one more time. Let me see if I can find it. Fucking.
Right.
Alright, I just showed Bryan the video. It's called, look up Lightning McGroomer.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Ridiculous.
What the fuck is 18th grade?
I didn't realize
He
how
grew middle schoolers!
I didn't realize how usable that clip is. But yeah, so beautiful. I appreciate you once again, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I guess I need to fucking mute lines.
all right. So, of course, because the agent said that, he just goes and he's just, like he tells Mac, who's like, "Hey, man, I gotta take a break. So, gotta charge, man. I'm fucking out of it." He's like, "Nah, man, let's just keep going. Let's keep going. Come on, man. We gotta keep rolling, all right?" And he keeps going. That makes Mac very tired. It's late at night at this point.
And this is where we have our first deleted scene, and actually at this point we got a couple in a row. So...
One sec. Wait. There we go. Yeah. So
this is our first deleted scene, where Mac, they actually go to a truck stop.
Right.
They actually go to a stop, but he doesn't go to sleep there. He goes to, get, a car wash, to get, his face sprayed with water so he can wake up. And, Lightning is, he's, ambushed by, the waiters and stuff. They're like, "You're Lightning McQueen, oh, you're famous."
That's right.
And, they were like, "Yeah, we think you won that race." They were like, "You're the man, dude." And, after Mac gets, water sprayed in his face at the car wash and stuff, he's like, "I'm ready to go!" And he just, starts driving off without him. And then Lightning McQueen's like, "Is that Mac? Oh, I gotta..." and everybody's surrounding him "Excuse me, I gotta get out of here. I gotta follow Mac." And that's when, the chase sequence starts.
I think it was a good choice to keep the blame kind of on the McQueen, the agent team, instead of making... Because that kind of makes Mac, blindly idiotic. Now, there's a little bit of blame still that he didn't hear anything on the back of his truck, but it still was the fault of McQueen.
Everything is the full fault of McQueen, so that's why you don't feel too bad for him, especially being, getting into, Radiator Springs, because, even with, even all that stuff in that happens in Radiator Springs is a misunderstanding and a mishap. He still just kept going and didn't stop. He didn't slow down for anything. He just kept taking action out of fear.
Yep.
Because he's too arrogant, and even after all that, he doesn't feel sorry for anything. He's like, "I don't give a this town was dirty when I saw it. Fuck you guys."
Exactly.
I'm just I gotta get out of here. I don't get.
Who cares?
Yeah, this place is dirty anyway.
Yeah.
Find somebody else to fix it.
Right. Yeah. So Mac gets fatigued, and this is where, again, this is what's funny. It's there's a universe where John Lasseter goes to the streets of Los Angeles. He visits the streets of Los Angeles instead of going on a road trip across the southwestern United States, and it turns into a Fast and Furious movie. This is another potential concept that could have... I mean, it's not a concept that they made, but this is definitely a world that they could have explored at some point. Fuck you. Open sesame. But this is now obviously they're here to be buttholes, right? They're street racers.
These are nice looking cars too. I love the neon lights on them.
But it's this is straight out of Fast and Furious of the time, and it's such a cool idea of this is not their story, but there are cars out there that are like this. That's street racing. So I just love that.
Looks like we got ourselves a nodder.
So yeah, this they go back and forth. It bumps Mac. They bump Mac back and forth, and then Lightning McQueen, the door opens up. He then just slides out, and boom! Now he's literally out in the middle of a highway, unknowing where he is, with no headlights. By the way, because he's a stock car. So that's quite a dilemma there, and that's...
They don't have headlights because the track is always lit.
Because the track is always lit. So, of course, he goes on a mad scramble to kind of find Mac, and he chases down the wrong vehicle. And even this point, it's there's, again, a lot of stress here.
I ain't no Mac.
Yeah, you're
oh yeah, it's a fun action sequence with a train.
Yeah, because he's not only chasing after a bunch of trucks, this is a beautiful moment. It's a stressful moment for McQueen, but visually it's another beautiful moment because you've got all these illuminated trucks, you know what I mean? And then you have this one truck off in the distance. So there's something very, just nice looking about, all of it. It all is just nighttime aesthetic, essentially. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nighttime highway aesthetic, with just the night backdrop. And he goes off, takes the exit, and goes after the wrong truck. There's a train coming. Again, you just keeping the audience interested, right? You don't need to add this, but you add it for the sake of like just.
And him and the train are looking at each other like,
Hey, but I can't slow down. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you
yeah,
doing?
like he's like, kid, like he's like that train has a look like I'm gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep moving. Don't do this, kid. And Lightning McQueen's like, I'm gonna pass you, and he's like, oh shit, he's really gonna go for it. He's like, because like, he looks determined, like the train looks determined, like, look, I'm going past, I'm going forward, so don't do this. And like, yeah, and I keep repeating myself, but like, yeah, like the train just has like the look of like just being shot. Like, why is he really doing this?
Yeah, it's like, again, we talk about human world, like just cars as humans. That's literally just the face of what a human would be like if he was the conductor of a train, and you saw that right there. So
They should have gotten a license deal and like made that have that like be a Thomas the Tank Engine cameo.
yeah, I mean that's like we talk about it. Obviously, Metro. We don't know what Metro would have been in the future for the Cars universe.
Thomas the Tank Engine crossover.
Yeah. Yeah, like he goes after the truck, and the truck's like, "Hey, man, I'm not Mac," and so he just goes down this one road and happens to come upon Radiator Springs. Like, he just,
Like it's interesting that like the first speaking. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if the police car has a speaking role first.
I believe it's Fillmore.
Okay, so the first speaking role from Radiator Springs is the two original like sidekicks from the original drafts. Hey.
Yeah.
This is where we have another deleted scene. It's where Lightning McQueen accidentally like drives into like a fucking graveyard of cars, of like dead cars, which is kind of like especially for it's supposed to be like really a kids movie. It raises a lot of questions. It's kind of like creepy.
It fits the tone of like a dead town though. I do like the idea of like you're going straight in, but like the idea of like of a sentient car being dead, then that is a little depressed. That is like
and it's just like left out. But yeah, like that scene would be creepy if they like left that in.
Absolutely.
Cause it kind of uses like the bright nature. Like it's like this movie's like not dark or mean spirited so far. So it's like it'll get pretty dark if you saw like dead cars, because like we don't see any dead cars at all in this movie.
Yeah, I think you get the impact that they would have gone for with who's the guy that ran the town, the old guy that's dead that has a sculpture. Like that guy's when that thing comes down.
But any audience knows what you're talking about.
But you know what I mean? When that statue comes down and it's just like that's a little bit like that's enough. You know what I mean? Like it's an old car, and it's like it's almost like a play on like this spirit of the town saying get out or whatever, or like you've done harm or something. You know, because it keeps him there essentially. Yeah. Like it's the main reason why he's still in Radiator Springs. It's being stuck by that sculpture basically, and being tied up then by the power lines that were probably made by humans. But we'll move on from that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a fun sequence. Like Lightning McQueen just like gets caught in wires. He's like destroying everything, just causing so much destruction. Like the whole statue, just like it looks like he just like landed right in front of him, and he somehow like makes it so like he kind of like slingshots right back to where it was at.
Yes, in the process destroying the entire road by using full power to escape.
And like also like you see how like this town is like everyone's just bored here.
Yes.
There's like nothing going on. It's like this is why they don't, I guess like I feel like I can imagine they wouldn't really give too much of a fuck about like everything being destroyed. It's more of like this is like the most action they had like all year round.
Yes.
And it's like the only reason they keep on Lightning McQueen here is because it's the only thing keeping them entertained.
Well,
like
yeah.
they don't, the characters don't say that, but like this is what you can easily assume they're thinking. Like this is like the most they've been entertained.
Yeah, because it's like at this moment the town is dead, and it's just like we're here because we're here, and this was our town, and like you said, this is the most interesting thing that's happened in like years here. I mean, sure, fix the road, I guess, but like it's more that there's something interesting finally happening, and it's this hot shot random car without headlights that just appears and destroys the road here. So knocks down a bunch of stuff, and okay, all right, whatever. So the next day, of course, he's introduced to Mater. Mater comes in. He's like, Mater, I'm Toe Mater without the tuh, and yeah. So he tries to get out of the parking boot, out of all that stuff, and no luck. The sheriff tells Mater, hey man, come on, just take him to the court. And you have this cool little court session, which again, interesting idea. Like, small town, just simple idea, just like in a human scenario. Hey, we're just going to do some justice here. What do you think he deserves? Well, he could at least fix the road.
Doc comes in like, I want this man hanged. I want him shot. I want him fucking killed. And he sees he's a race car, and it's like, oh, I know this shit. Get him out of here. Fuck. I don't want to deal with this shit again. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he started off very furious. Yeah, that was gold. Great delivery by Paul Newman, of course. But yeah, that was his assignment, is to utilize Bessie, who Mater romantically talks about. You're gonna love her.
Which raises another question: why isn't she sentient? It's a vehicle of some sorts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vehicle that doesn't have its own motor. Maybe it's the motor. Maybe without the motor. I mean, like, there's a motor that churns the stuff, but it's not a motor that moves the car. Or moves moves the machine. So, I need to...
I feel like Sally wasn't going to be that, I guess I'm mean to him, but, like, he just, like, as soon as she walks in the room, like, McQueen...
He starts catcalling her.
Yeah. He's like, oh, she's with me. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have dinner. Like, hey, you my bitch now. You wanna I know you're my bitch. You have to work for me if you're this hot and you work in this fucking dump. I mean,
right.
If you run this dump. And it's like, hey, let's have some dinner. And we'll like probably have some sex later. We're all good. And it's like, and she's like, she just plays along like, all right, Mr. Hotshot. Hey, Mater. Hey, what, you fucking know her? I'm like, hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, Sally. Like, she knows everybody. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Yep. So judgment comes down, and he is doing it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna absolutely do it. All Mater has to do is connect lightning.
Fuck out of here!
And
so,
again,
raise another question. So, there's still gas. If you don't have any gas, are you just like, you're just disabled? So that's like if we drink water, and if we stop drinking water, we don't get dehydrated. Our limbs just stop working.
I mean, they technically, if you...
No, but we get that's because of dehydration.
Right.
We don't get dehydrated. We're just fine. Our limbs just literally just stop operating.
Right. That would be terrible. I mean...
And there's like water stations where we have to get our water, I guess.
I mean, it's literally if we were famished immediately. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, but... Yeah, like, it's, in that context, yeah, that would be, like, terrifying. Just...
And they said, like,
it's like, we siphoned all the water out your body. Yeah, it's like,
we sucked your dick we sucked the hydration out of your dick while you were asleep.
While you're asleep.
Look, because, like, no, that, again, raises further questions. They're like, did Lightning McQueen get violated?
No, it's just, again, you're thinking too far into this. It's just like a car where you just do the thing and the fuel, that's it.
How do you get siphon the gas out of
people?
What? So, like, I mean, do they open up a compartment? Because that's still...
They probably do.
They got inside Lightning and took his fluids.
Yes, they probably got.
They got inside him and took his fluids.
Yes. We don't need that yelled. Kind of like I love kids, Charlie. I don't need. We took Lightning's fluids, yelled from the roof.
Middle schoolers.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so he zooms up again. This goes back to when you talk about building a universe, and just a great setting. Lightning's enjoying the open road again, and I love the way that, again, you have the Newman score, you have this beautiful, like, helicopter shot, basically, bird's eye shot of Lightning driving along Route 66 here, and it's just this beautiful, like, overhead view of just, man, look at this open world that, like, it'd be great to travel in, which is what makes the games even more fun, because as a kid, you're like, I'd love to travel on that, and it's just a cool idea. Like, you want the vastness of this world. Like, it feels so lived in, and it feels so real at the same time. Real, lived in, it just feels that way. So he escapes, but he doesn't escape because, you know, hey man, we took your fuel out. So goes back, and he's back on the thing. He's back on the machine. So, you know, gets tied back to the machine. And
another deleted scene here.
yeah.
So, instead of like whatever machine Bessie was, it was like another machine that kind of steamrolls like the fucking cement. What is it? Asphalt, and like it shoots out asphalt on the front, and like it rolls it over.
Yes.
And the latest scene was Lightning McQueen, like it was a nightmare where Lightning McQueen, like his brain is like inside that machine, and like you see his body and it's just empty. Like Jesus. No, you see like the hood is open,
right,
and his eyes are off, and like and he's just like in that like his eyes are like now in that machine.
Yes.
And like he's forced to work within that machine and move, and then you know Mater in Lightning's body like just drives around him and like, thanks for the new body, friend. And he like, and then like Max shows up, and he's like, we were looking for you everywhere. And it looks like he's talking to Lightning, but like he's
actually talking to the
Mater. He's actually talking to Mater in Lightning's body. He just goes around him, and like he's like, come on, we need you for the race. And he's like, oh, I always wanted to race. Thanks for the new life. And Lightning's like, no. And then like he wakes up, he realizes it was a dream. It was a nightmare, which is like. But yeah, that's again, dark. Pretty fucking dark.
Absolutely.
And especially, like, where they have to pan to, like, Lightning's, like, empty body.
Yeah. I mean, that's another, like, I think this goes back to, I mean, you're raising questions about, like, the soul of the car, like, the pieces of it. I think they had the same questions, too, as they were fleshing out, like, the universe, what are these cars? I think that's where a lot of these deleted scenes kind of come into, at least the ones that obviously reference this idea of graveyard cars and the soul of a car being in another, or the engine of the car, of one car being inside of obviously another vehicle. Like, yeah, like I think that
apparently the motors are the souls of these cars.
Right.
You take them out, you can put them in that. You can just swap bodies.
Exactly.
Just, I mean, which probably
I will say Mater is a suitable. Mater would be a suitable antagonist for that dream or the nightmare, because of course he has the tow hitch that could lift an engine out of the bay there if he wanted to. So I don't know how he would open up the hood.
It should be the alpha. He has like a fucking he can like overpower everybody here.
Yeah, I don't know how you would open the hood, but that's something I really don't care to know. So
it's probably like the fact that the motor is in the hood. It probably makes things like easy for like transgender cars just switch to a different body.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that
Disney, modern Disney's thinking about.
Absolutely, Cars 4, that's what we're doing. Yeah, but so he gets reattached to repave, and he starts to realize like he's pissed off, but he realizes, oh man, wait a minute. I just need to finish this thing. Like, just get it done.
Yeah,
get out of
he
here.
hears on the radio. He has that nightmare of like Michael Keaton being
snoozing Dinoco.
Oh yeah,
snoozing Dinoco.
Like, oh fucking no.
Yeah.
The road's done. I can fuck off now.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what the fuck is this shit? No, it's not done. And Mary's like, I don't want to try the new road.
Yeah. So yeah, the road. Like that's the thing. It's also just like again, there's just. If someone were to make a movie about cars and they didn't know what they were doing, they would make a movie. They would make a movie and they'd have this sequence, and he would just pave it, and it would be just fine. But in reality, if you don't do it careful and slowly and smoothly, that's what a road's gonna look like if it gets repaved like that. If you rush it, it's gonna look chunky and messy and things like that. It won't turn out the way that you want it, obviously. Doc's like, look, man, like, you fucked up. You fucked up, but I'll give you this proposition. You beat me in this race, 1 lap, you can leave, and I'll fix the road. So, Lightning, being a race car, takes the offer, no problem. They go down to Willie's Butte.
Oh yeah, like even I'm as a viewer, I'm like, the fuck is he doing? Of course, Lightning McQueen's gonna fucking beat his ass. Like unless he like has some kind of hidden power, like canonically, like Lightning McQueen could dust all these motherfuckers.
This should be literally impossible. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's Willie's Butte up there, and again, it's just like it's an oval track. This is exactly the type of thing that Lightning does. So it seems like there's no problem at all here. It's even got banking corners at the top there. And again, like, this is another example of, once again, man, I would love to play this. And again, this is a perfect example, again, like, hey, you put this in a game, that's a fun little immersion thing, because here's a track that would be fun to play. And they have that in the actual game. So, we know how this turns out. Lightning goes full throttle. And, by the way, Guido and Luigi, they're like, hey, man, pit stop. Come on. I'm waiting for this our whole lives. This whole town's been boring forever. Pit stop. Lightning's like, nah, man, I work alone. Fuck off. I don't need you.
And he's like, fuck you! And he leaves.
And he leaves.
And he was like, no pit stop, comprende? And like, it's my favorite voice clip of him. It's just like, okay! Just like, because like, I think, what do you speak? French? Spanish? French, yeah.
No, Italian.
Italian, there we go, Italian.
Yeah.
So he speaks Italian, and like, but like, when, like, his most iconic, like, his most iconic quote is just like, okay!
Yeah.
And he leaves.
Yep. I get Minion vibes from him. You know.
Nah, he's not Minion. He's a full character.
He's a full character. I mean, there's
he's more capable than Minions.
Well, yeah, of course he's more capable than Minions. He can fucking take off tires in 0.3 seconds. But, so, boom. Right. We get through the race. Doc beats him because Lightning goes full throttle into a corner that has no banking.
Yeah, this is like subverts my expectations because, like, I'm thinking, okay, so we're about to see how fast Doc is because he's hiding some kind of secret talent, and then Lightning just dusts, and like we only see Lightning, and then like Doc is still there, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? And it's like they ask Mater to like come with him, and it's like, huh? Yeah, because like as the viewer, you're just like, wait, what's going on here? Right. He knows something that Lightning doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, man, and it's like he's already awaiting the chaos that is bound to happen. And yeah, Lightning goes right into a ditch full of cacti, and Mater pulls him out. And again, if you Mark want to go into the whole like, hey, is that his butthole? Is that what's happening here? You can. I don't care.
You already did it. I don't have to say it.
Good.
Because you know you were thinking it too. That's why.
Well, he literally makes an expression. So. Yeah. Yeah, oh, Jesus.
Oh, let me hook him.
Jesus. All right, Jesus Christ. So.
Or there's probably bowls like ah.
So all right, I don't. Christ, that's even worse of a visual. So.
Oh yeah, like, Mater doesn't have truck nuts. Where's his truck nuts?
Oh my God.
They took my truck nuts. They took my truck nuts. Not like it.
This is a nightmare. So he's tasked with, of course, repairing the road that he fucked up, and then starting from scratch once again. Because once again, how long does it take? They say about 5 days. Honestly, about 5 days is what Doc said in the beginning before he rushed it and ruined it. So now he's scraping the whole thing. It's late. It's getting late at night. Now 1 day is gone.
And he's swearing up a storm like, God fucking damn it! Fuck, I'm in hillbilly hell! Fucking hate this fucking place! And like Sally's like, I don't want to hear this all night. I regret doing this.
Yes. So here's the thing, right? Like, it seems this is the real turn of the night from this evening going into the next night, or this night going into the next day. We start to really turn into a new page, essentially. there was, so at this point, it's the next day. We see now that the road is actually partially complete, but Doc is like, where is Lightning? And it's like, no, he's over there doing some practice laps over at the track. He's over at Willie's Butte. He really wants to understand how Doc, or just how to master this. He doesn't even know how Doc mastered it because he didn't see it. So he wants to know, how do I master this thing? And it's just like, hey man, like you got to figure this out. But Sally's like, but after that he goes back, keeps working on the road, and Sally invites him to the Cozy Cone. Stay at the place that cars usually avoid, but hey, it's the Cozy Cone. And I think it's a beautiful little novel concept. It's like, hey,
he says it out loud. Cars usually try to avoid it when I'm living inside, and like, hey, it's pretty clever. And Sky was like,
you thought about
you came up with that on your own.
Not the first time. So after Sally's invitation, Mater's like, hey man, just a heads up.
Again, it's newly, apparently it's like newly refurbished. So, okay, so we already asked him so many questions. Like a big valid. Okay,
oh no.
Here's the thing: you can bypass all the questions about anatomy and all that shit, sex and whatever, because the movie doesn't bring too much attention to it.
Yeah.
But the movie does bring attention to that, like probably should be addressed, and we still don't know of, like the economics and the currency. Like how the fuck does that work? Because
so
we see scenes where people are about to pay,
yes,
but then they never do, and it's like, what is the money? What does it look like? What is the name of the money?
Mark, that's it is a genuine question.
Like, and again, who refurbished? That costs money. What is Radiator Springs like? Do they have bills? Like, they've been out of business.
Right. So if you recall, Sally was a hotshot lawyer. She was but she didn't feel comfortable with it. So this is later down the line. This is on the drive when they get to the top of the mountain, or to the plateau there, where that old hotel was. She explains that she was actually a lawyer, and she made money, but she didn't love it. So she came out here and she made it home. We can imagine that she's the newest member of Radiator Springs, and that most likely that she refurbished the motel and made it her own thing once, because I'm sure that she didn't, maybe she didn't build it, maybe she thought, oh, this is cute and I can just fix this up and maybe we'll find some people to come through. I think that she just used her lawyer money that she had and was like, I like this idea, I'm going to own this motel. And that's how I'm going to live. And I think it's pretty, I don't think that's a difficult headcanon. I don't think that's a difficult reach.
It's
because they explain, she explains
still,
that that's where she came from.
The rest of Radiator Springs is still operating.
I mean, barely. Like they're barely hanging on. You know what I mean?
They don't seem like they're like.
What do you mean the water?
They're just always bored, but they don't seem like they're low on like funds or like food or anything or what they need. They have plenty of gas.
I mean, they have gas.
Honestly, these people have it good. They have no bills. The people in this town are chill. Like, why the fuck do we still need to be a business? Just like, hey, we just live.
I think it's more the social aspect. I think that's the key.
Maybe these characters are also immortal.
No, because remember, the one guy dies. Remember, the town creator dies. The other Model T dies.
Oh fuck! I just made myself. I just fucking made myself even more questions. So, like, how does a car get older?
I think it's just rusting. If you look at what's her name, Lizzie, the old Model T, she's like, I know, but like,
what the fuck about baby cars and like how do they get larger?
Mark, who fucking knows?
It's like fucking not Farm, fucking Hermes on Futurama. He was like, that just raises further questions.
That did, yes. So look, I think, and we'll get to it when we get to the highway portion. I think one of the key things that this movie, well, we'll talk about it when we get to the highway portion.
Like, this is
because you're opening questions that I can answer, but I can answer once we get to that point.
Yeah. This is without doubt like Pixar's most questioning like questionable like world they made, because Toy Story and I think this is their most questionable world, because
up to that point, yes.
Because
I think up to
they make a society, like a lot of movies are like societies out of like inanimate things. Like I can fully get the world of Toy Story. I can fully get the world of Monsters Inc. That's probably the most well built world of of sentient things. Honestly, I can get the world of A Bug's Life, but like Cars, there's a lot of questions.
Again, I think
there's questions to all these other worlds too, especially Toy Story.
Yes, but I think and you mean up to this point, because I think they're more. As we've gotten later into Pixar's life cycle, I mean, we've now added many more movies. Yes, and I've had to defend that one. But I think if you look at Cars instead as a homage to, again, and we'll get to the point. The point is what we're coming to, and I think that's the crux of this movie. There's a universe here that is made for the purpose of one particular reason, one thing that they want to send home to the audience. But is the rest of the movie shelled? Is the rest of the movie a shell for that, or is it built up enough that it makes sense? And I think if you look at it as these are mascots, these are a celebration of the automobile, and I mean, like, again, look at the picture there. You've got canyons of that are shaped like cars. That's just a design choice. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but because there's no human-shaped canyon structures, really. So it's not like, again, these are design choices. The clouds look like tire tread. Like, even Willie's Butte has the hood ornament design there.
The bugs are literally bugs.
They're ladybugs. I'm sorry, beetles. Yeah, bugs. Yeah, they're literally bugs. Punch buggies. No punchback.
Which means is there a lack of variety of bugs in this universe?
Oh my god.
I keep making more questions, but it's also gross to think about, because like Lightning McQueen has like squished bugs in his teeth when he's open in that one scene, and I'm like, ew, those are like, they're cars that like squish and they have inners. Ew. Yes,
they do. I'm glad yes, indeed. I'm gonna keep moving through this story, Mark. So first things first, we get to the cow. So Mater invites him out to cow tipping. Again, we're at a point now in this part of the movie where I call this section.
Tractor tipping.
Right. I call this section like our town, right? Because like we're starting to get to the point where we are becoming more comfortable with, or we're learning more and becoming more comfortable with the general vibe of the town. It's Lightning is becoming more comfortable with it. He wants to leave still, but less interested. He's more curious, and he's accepting of what other people are offering him now more than ever. And again, like, you have the cow tipping. And again, Mark, I'm surprised you haven't asked the question here about the tractors, because I don't think I think that's the biggest tipping point, is if you really want to critique, these cows make no fucking sense. I mean, what are they grazing? What the fuck are they grazing for, and what are we doing?
Here's another question.
What are we really doing?
Here's another question.
Anything. Yes.
Why aren't these, like, functioning... What makes these, like, animals to the Cars world, and why aren't these, like, functioning people of society?
I think because they're, like, 3 wheels, maybe? I don't know. I'm just theorizing. They're 3 wheels, maybe that means that you're special? I don't know.
I mean, you got, like, planes that are, like, functioning members of society. You got,
but
like,
they're
fucking
planes.
planes.
That's a different... I don't... fuck, Mark.
And then there's Bessie. Not Bessie. There's fucking, the fucking giant thing.
Yeah, Bessie.
Was there 2 Bessies?
What are you to the giant thing? What is the
Bessie
giant
is
thing?
like the...
Bessie is the machine that he uses to...
Yeah, I forgot the name of the other thing.
What other thing?
The thing that tries to mow him over.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Again, these seem like wildlife, and I don't know, Mark. All right? Look, okay? I don't fucking know.
That just raises further questions!
Yes. All right, so... Here's the thing, though. After the cow tipping, which, again, Lightning had...
Which is fucking irresponsible of Mater, because, like, he almost got this guy killed.
I mean, Lightning took up the choice, so it was the Lightning's choice. And that was on him. As he says at the end of the movie, he's my best friend, what are you going to do? And it's like, that's your best friend? All right, bud. I'd say Sally is your bet. You could literally have just given Sally that tag.
No, Sally's his girlfriend.
I mean, sure, but you could be a best friend and girlfriend. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so...
Nah, he's too straight to see it that way.
So, Mater ends up driving backwards. You know, and so these are little pieces where it's like, okay, he's going to use this in the grand scheme of the later part of the movie here. You will apply this to, and we'll see Lightning use pieces of this later, which is, it's like, oh, he's actually learning from other people around him. He's not just self-centered. I think that's the core point there. You know, he goes into the cozy cone, he goes to sleep, and, you know, like...
And he can do it because he has rear view mirrors, which, I'm sorry to keep asking questions, but, like, he shouldn't be able to see through that. These are behind his eyes.
Are they behind his eyes or beside his eyes? Because if you have peripheral, he has a curved side of his... Oh, no, they're on his side, yeah. All right, I don't fucking know, Mark, I don't know, all right? I don't know. God, stop. Just Jesus.
Stop!
It doesn't make sense when Lightning does it either, at the end of the movie, okay? But it's just there, okay? And it's a fun little scene. That's the other thing. It's a fun little movie.
It's nice. This is the point in the movie where everyone becomes likable. It's not like everyone was, like, unlikable. It's just like...
The chemistry's there.
Yeah, the chemistry... Okay, so, like...
There's comfort.
Here's the thing about this movie. It's like, it takes a while for everyone to become, like, likable, because here's the thing. Lightning... All you know in the beginning of the movie is, like, Lightning McQueen's an asshole, and everyone's just trying to reason with him.
Yes.
But, like, we don't know... It's not like you know, Chicken Little where everyone's an asshole, you hate everybody. But, like... Or it's like, not mean-spirited. It's more like, we don't know all these people around Lightning McQueen. We don't know the folks in Radiator Springs. So, like, we're kind of not, like, siding with everybody. We're just kind of watching everybody fight. But, like, once people get along, the movie starts to become... And you get to know everyone. It's like the movie starts to become more heartwarming, like, around that point.
Exactly. And I think the key thing is, like, they... No longer are they shielding who they actually are, because now it's like, you know, you're following again. You're like you said, I don't know if I'm going to be reflecting exactly what you said here, but you're following a character that just dropped into this setting. And everyone's kind of hesitant to open up who they truly are. And what we're seeing now is that they are finally comfortable with who they're, like, being themselves. And
we're learning about their characters as Lightning McQueen's learning about them as well.
Yeah, and Lightning is actually learning more about himself as well. What he actually likes about, like, beyond just the day-to-day of being a race car that's stuck in a trailer and then races and then stuck in a trailer, right? Like, so it's a great evolving of, you know, just being in a new setting and, you know, working with these people. So here we go. Lightning has a nightmare. He's like, I gotta get out of here. I need to go right now and get back to racing. Or he's thinking about getting out of here. He wants to literally escape. That's in his brain. He wants to escape, so he's trying to go get to the sheriff, but he ends up instead seeing the sheriff's underside.
Get a good view?
You got a good view, city boy? And so, you know, yeah, so...
I guess, okay, I'm not going to ask questions, I was going to assume, so I guess, like, the under part of the car is, like, the genital, is, like, the privates?
I think it's just the privates. I don't know if it's I think it's just...
Because when we forgot about the scene where, the fucking tourist people, the GPS people show up.
That was way back when the road was damaged still, too.
And, like, fucking Ramon shows his, like, underside, and they're, like, have a reaction, like, ooh, look! Because like, it's like when somebody's showing their ass crack tattoo. Yeah. That's the reaction. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's like a Megan Thee Stallion music video. Yeah.
That is a funny scene because it does look like a crazy town from their perspective, and then especially when they come across Lightning McQueen, like, help me.
Send help.
Yeah. Call the police.
It's like, it's a great way to show, like, it's not only, it just comes off as severely desperate, and it shows how, again, you brought up earlier, like, how bad off economically, like, the town is, or just, like, the state of the town. I think it's less about the economic value, and I think what's great is this movie is more about the social connection is dead. I think that's, the valuable thing there. I think the economic thing is, the trade-off is not money. It's more the communication and interweaving of people that is valuable there. You could say that probably there should be some sort of monetary value, but there's no real monetary. Like we see later on, Lightning goes and gets a bunch of stuff from everyone in town, and he doesn't pay a cent. So I think there's something about that they wanted to play into instead of it being about money. And I think when the minivan scene comes up, it's more about like, hey, oh shit, new people, okay, cool, hey, how you doing? And like, yeah, you want them to stay, which comes off like a selling point, but it's also just like, hey, who are you? You're new. We haven't had any people. Could you come and check us out? Hey, anyone? And they leave. So, yeah.
Also, like, I guess I'll just like skip ahead a little bit, but like, and not even a little bit. This is like far ahead, but like,
yeah, go for it.
They die because like after the end credits we see them again, and like and it's like they're stuck in the middle of the desert because the guy was insisted like, I got GPS, I know where we're going.
Oh, that's right.
And they're still stuck there, and it's like, oh, they probably die. They die of like
lost.
Oh, they run out of gas because when you run out of gas, you become disabled, and they're just stuck.
I see. That's a great view of it, Mark. I haven't thought about that.
Yay!
I haven't thought about that.
It's a family movie.
It is. All right, so Lightning accidentally tosses something, falls, something rolls into Doc's shed. He goes in. He sees a piston cup. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? Doc has a fucking piston cup, and then he tells everyone. He's like, man, there was a piston. That's crazy. What? How do you have a piston cup? I didn't know about that.
And that's when we get the joke. He wasn't his cup.
And that's when he said he wasn't in his cup. So, after saying all of that, it's like
Doc isn't a race car. That old man's a bitch. He ain't racing for his shit.
Yep. So Lightning gets fueled up, and Sally's like, hey, we could go on a drive, by ourselves out in the distance, no other cars around. We could, do something. So, McQueen obviously earlier in the day was like, man, I want to get the fuck out of here. So here's his opportunity. He actually looks down the road, other direction.
Oh, sorry. I also just want to mention the tension earlier between him and Sally. And he's like, "Want to stay in the cone? You can stay with me. I mean, not with me, not in the same bed. No, but like in the same place. Not that we're going to be sleeping in the same bed and having sex or anything. And you put your exhaust pipe up my shit. Like, no, we're gonna." But like sleep.
I think the only thing they can technically do is like tongue. I don't know what else they would do. Like what else can they do? Like I don't want to know, but like there's nothing else they can do.
Wheels on wheels.
But like, what are they doing? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on. That's why it's like making cars horny. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
How about crashing to each other?
It just doesn't make like what are we anyway? So okay. So again, he has a chance to leave. He looks down where he came from. It's an opportunity. It's a clear-cut shot. He doesn't take it. He goes instead. And again, it's only because, it's the hot Porsche girl that, it's a hot Porsche girl that any other person says that and gives him fuel, he's fucking leaving. So,
fuck that.
Yeah, so...
I do want to get laid.
Yeah, so... Here's the thing, right? Like, I love the drive is beautiful. The drive is, like, it just reminds you, someone that's driven thousands of so many miles over the years. Like, there's nothing more beautiful than a winding road. And we have some in northern Baltimore County and in Carroll County and Frederick County. And toward the mountains that are absolutely beautiful. But it's just like this, or it's just beautiful and you're just cruising and it's comfortable and you can cruise and feel the curves of the road. Like it's a beautiful feeling, and I think this movie perfectly captures that on the drive up to that hotel that's at the top of the mountain, or close to the top of the mountain, top of the drive, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's very well done. And I think that it just, again, you get the bugs in the mouth, you get the meme, obviously the super fucking memed meme of Sally shat in his mouth, ha ha ha, like, it's like, there wasn't mud there, ha ha ha, yeah, okay, whatever, yeah, so, but it's just, it's a fun thing, and also, if you've ever driven with another person driving along, like, with you, like, a two partner car there. That's also fun. Like, just, you know, a tag team duo of like two drivers just going on a trek. Don't know where we're going, but one person's leading and we're just going.
I shit joke, but I forgot that was like with the tractor scene. There was like the only fart joke in the movie with the tractor tipping.
Oh yeah, tractor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It didn't feel right. Those sound effects coming out like that's
again. We're talking about these are these are mammalian noises coming out of tractors that are also supposed to be kind of animals, wildlife. Mark. I don't know.
Stop asking me. I don't know.
So this is what I was talking about this earlier, and I was like, there's a core point that this movie wants to make, and I think this is it right here.
We're still on screen.
Is the core point, like, this is what because I think, and the older I get, the more that I see it, is it that this movie is not well built around this point enough? Because we suddenly get to, it's like, this is what they wanted to say all along. It took this whole run of like, all right, what happened? This is the point that Lasseter and the whole team of this whole Route 66 concept clearly wanted to get to. Was the movie in total written well enough around it to get to this point? I think there could have been better execution.
I think it could have been like
maybe this could have just been, maybe you fully focus on Route 66 instead of it being a hot shot coming in. But one way or another, like, this is the core point. It's the highways are economically and communally damaging to small towns that get bypassed. And it has had a detrimental effect on those economies in real life and in this fictional story. Like, that's the core point. You know what I mean? But is it? Was the rest of the movie built up enough around that? That's the point. You know?
I think like
because
I think it's explained fine enough.
It's exactly.
But like the thing is, it could have been done better.
Yes.
Especially like the way they explain it. It's like with a very slow montage that can probably lose some kids' attention from this movie. I think there should have been like, I don't know, maybe narration from it. Maybe it could have been explained a little bit earlier.
I will say I did love this every time, even when I was young, because it was like a backstory. But I just think it's like it's not out of the blue, but it's like it took this whole time and boom, right? Like, okay, now we're here. And then, by the way, after this point, you kind of just speed up. Everything speeds up. All right, Lightning's going to do this. He's going to fix the town, and then he's out of here. And then then it's the final race, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah, I think this could have been explained a little bit better and probably a little bit earlier with the narration, or like a actual flashback of like we get a perspective of like, like a full flashback with like voices and shit instead of like a montage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. The thing is, like, as much as
well, there was narration, but like more narration than what we got.
I will say, and the thing is, though, as much as I say that, like, this made way more than Atlantis. This made way more than Treasure Planet and Sinbad and all these other movies that I love. Like, this movie, like, as much as it's like, oh, what could they fix? It's like, well,
it made more than I'll make a year. It made more than I make a year. It made more than I ever made
in your
any
lifetime.
job.
Yes, $700 million over mark. Yeah. So, like, it's this movie is
that's still not as much as my medical bills, but
right. But this is a cultural behemoth movie, and even if I could say, well, they could have done this better, it's like it's still a hit. That's the thing. Like, this still hit. Like, maybe if they put maybe a little too much sauce of this in there, maybe it's not as big a hit. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm sure I'm wrong because the box office results and the DVD sales prove me otherwise. The merchandise sales prove me otherwise. Like, but I do think that this core piece that's 5 minutes of the movie that apparently is the whole point that they started, that Lasseter took the project from Jorgen, what's his name? Like, the reason that he did that was for this idea of Route 66 and its loss economic impact from being bypassed. Like, it's just weird.
You know what? I don't think it's but I don't think it's a story that's like keeping people's attention. I think it's the toyetic design of everything. And in fact, it's like it's a very digestible it's like an easy plot with a very digestible movie. I mean, because this is like still plot wise, not counting A Bug's Life, Pixar's like weakest like a story from this point. I'd say.
Definitely.
I mean,
and again,
I'll give it. It has more plot than A Bug's Life, but that was still Pixar's second movie, so we can all act like it didn't exist. But like, it's just like, it's like Pixar's weakest movie. But like, I don't think not many people are like really praising the story. It's just more of like the design and toyetic, and like it's just like, it's digestible and friendly for kids to look at.
Yeah, it's beautiful that like they acknowledge this. It's like it is. I appreciate the acknowledgement of this because like it is kind of weird to see like real life Route 40 and Route 66 in the Cars universe. Because like that's a real map example.
Yes.
Except for the fact that it's Ornament Valley and Cadillac Range, like that's not real. But like Route 40 and 6, those are real. That's real. But so it's like it is weird. It's definitely weird. But like it's a fascinating situation where the journey to get to this point of, hey, because like this idea is relatable, this idea of like whether it's due to like highways, this idea of like, oh, small towns are being destroyed or being economically screwed, whether that's because of highways or because a Walmart was built down the street and now people find convenience there, or because of Amazon, right? Like this is easily relatable in any instance. But here, like I think it just feels like we've got this movie about a hotshot car that's a rookie that goes into a town that is on its last legs, and it becomes this piece now. Now it's this piece, or at least for the last 15 minutes, it's this piece. But then it jumps back into, that. And I think maybe the point is that he was already moving at that pace. Like, if we're following Lightning's character, he's moving at that pace. And then he's slowing down, understanding the town, getting used to the town, getting more comfortable with the town. Because the pacing does slow up a bit with this learning of the town. And then everything picks back up again as Lightning starts to know what he wants to do, right? As he starts to know, all right, well, because once this Route 66 thing is done, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fucking fix up the town and I'm going to do this for Sally and the people of Radiator Springs and I'm going to spend money here or invest here and have them treat me up here with tires and fuel and night vision goggles and bumper stickers. Like, everything starts to speed up then. It's like, all right, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening. And for a moment, everything's peaceful, But did you have anything to say before we get to the paparazzi, things like that?
I think I said everything I need to say about that part.
Okay. Yeah, so...
he finishes the road at this point?
So, yeah, the road is... Oh, the road was once it's finished, yeah. At that, because he's...
No, it wasn't finished yet because, like, they were worried about him leaving. Because
Wasn't it?
The deal was he can leave as soon as the road is finished. And when he was talking to Sally, they was worried about, like, is he going to make a break for it?
Oh, okay, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, so he's done with the road trip with Sally, comes back, Mater's got all these cows, and then he's chasing a cow, and it goes by the butte, and he sees Doc doing the drift. He sees Doc doing the Tokyo drift. And, so we actually see...
If anyone asked, we were smashing mailboxes.
Right. And I believe it's the next day, right? Is it the next day where he finishes? Because it's not that night where he finishes. But it's got to be the next day he finishes, and then he wants to treat that... Then he... Yeah, next morning, everyone's like, where's Lightning? Because the road's done. And then it's like, oh shit, he must have left. and then Lightning comes back, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, you're Lightning.
Also,
you're back.
Doc is pissed because he was like he put on his old tires. He's like put on his retired bowler put on his old bowling shoes, and he just tries to try to feel himself on the track a bit, and then Lightning was like, "Damn, you're good at racing." Like, fucking Doc's like, "Fuck off, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't race anymore. Get the fuck out of my face, you fucking racer. Goddamn race car."
But so again, they see that Lightning's there after he finished the road, and then he goes and he wants to get new tires. He starts at Luigi's. He's like, "Hey man, want some white wall tires?" He wants tires. Luigi pushes him to get white walls. He gets the white walls. He's like, I'm better than a Ferrari, right? And he's like, "Fuck no, you're not. Get the fuck out of my store." He then gets specialty fuel from Fillmore. I believe this is literally a joke about ethanol and how ethanol fuel, which is biofuel, easily could power cars, but because the gas companies are so powerful, they just kind of took over that and stopped and limited the success of it. Because he's like, it's a conspiracy, man. It's like, no, yeah, people think that biofuel could be a success, but gas has such a control on the market.
Yes.
You have the night vision goggles from Sarge. They're probably
What does Sarge sell?
Like military gear.
Okay.
It's kind of like the thing where it's like, if it was a human, he'd have shotguns and stuff. Bumper stickers from Lizzie.
Oh, I do like I forgot to mention, I do like the argument, the running joke of the argument between Sarge and Fillmore, because I'm imagining realistically there will Sarge would be like, "Fucking hippie, shut the fuck up, turn that fucking music off."
Oh yeah, Fillmore, peace and love, man. But yeah, man,
you work for the government, fucker.
I will.
I don't listen to you.
I will say I think we passed it a long time ago, but I love the American flag, and then the guitar comes in, or the bugle. Sarge has the bugle, and then fucking Fillmore has the fucking Jimi Hendrix national anthem.
Yeah.
God
damn it!
So you turn down that racket, and it's fucking gold. Fucking gold. And then he gets a paint job from Ramon. Obviously, he gets the fuel. The fuel they've been working with, what's her name? The fuel. The other thing he does is he somehow, I don't know how this happens, Mark, so you can tell me, because you've been asking questions the whole time. I don't know how he got neon lighting. I don't know how he put neon lighting on the fucking things. I don't know how Cars would do that, alright? I don't know. But what we learn is that he has some fucking skills, because all the fucking stores, even the shut down ones,
Magic,
now have new neon lighting. And so it gives the town the sheen.
Oh, wait, so it was implied that was new?
Yeah.
I assume that was just there. They just turned it on. It was a celebratory moment, so they just finally turned it on after all these years.
No, I swear I thought that was new. I thought that was the
That's
whole
why
thing.
I don't know. I just assumed that.
I thought they said that he got new neon. I thought that was the whole
Okay,
thing.
I missed that. And then it's probably
Yeah.
That's the one line I missed. But I wasn't sure what was going on there. It was like, I just wasn't sure that scene. I was like, I guess they just turned it on.
I see.
After all these years.
Yeah, I think they definitely, some of them were damaged because if you look down Main Street, toward that firehouse spot, some of those shut down stores were definitely kind of in poor shape. So I'm sure that not all of them. But yeah. So everyone's dancing, having a good time. This is the one you were talking about, the thing that Lightning was talking to Sally with the when she was talking about the cozy cone. This is where it's like, what the fuck? Because Sally's like, I don't know. Because the Flo asks, what's going on over here, and then Sally's like, I don't know, but I will find out or something.
I know. I'm ready to find out what they get.
And because they're getting real. It's like,
we never see them kiss either. They get so close to kissing, and it's like, I think show it.
No, because I think Pixar knows. It's like, what kind of Antichrist shit are we about to do here?
So, I know we're getting ahead, but there's I'm getting far ahead, but I haven't seen anything past the first one except for those fucking shorts. Do 2 and 3 answer any questions?
About what? Like the sexual nature of cars?
I guess like anything, like this fucking world or anything.
I think this is the
Like
most,
money? Do we see what money looks like or anything?
This is the. I think there's a heist, but I don't know if it's about money. What I know is that they're less. I know your critical question will be, are they less horny? And I will say this is the most horny that Cars are, because Cars 3 is notably less because obviously it's Disney in 2017, but Cars
and there's
2,
and there's another female protagonist in there too.
yes.
So like,
But she's like a younger. That would be kind of weird. It'd be like if McQueen was like a 4-year-old and she was like a 18-year-old. It seems like she's like a younger person that grew up watching like. That's what they say. It's like I grew up watching you or something like that. Like, which again, talking about time.
we got those like fucking girls in the beginning like flashing their headlights.
Yes. So again, this is the most horny Cars will ever be, because 2 is not that.
Even Major talks shit like being horny about Sally is like, you know, she likes me from the body. Or like there was like another conversation. It was like pretty much Major was like, yeah, I'd fuck her too.
Oh my fuck.
Something like that.
I don't know if he said that exactly.
He didn't say that exactly, but it was like something close. It was a G-rated version of that.
Right. Now, Lightning.
You see why you like her.
Right. Again, so all of this rejuvenation happens. It's a beautiful night in a town that was dead only a couple days ago, and it's a beautiful thing. But of course, all good things come to an end, and that's when the paparazzi and the news returns. Now, the thing is, the reporters and paparazzi, they just swarm McQueen. Like, it's almost like Alien. It's so busy. I love how busy it is because it's like it's back to the norm that McQueen is in. And he's so used to the calm of Radiator Springs that it's shocking.
I love how they got all excited. New customers!
Yeah. But like... Yeah, and then like Mater's like, the aliens or whatever. Like, it's like...
The Ghost Light!
The Ghost Light, yeah. But... Yeah, man, it's so, like, different. You can feel the, like, oh, he's completely out of the loop of that energy that he was in before. We learned that Doc was the one who called, actually. Obviously, he's the one who called. He wanted Lightning to get the fuck out of here after all that mess. It was like, fuck Lightning McQueen. He put reinvestment back into this town.
Are you Doc? Thanks for snitching.
Yeah, just... And then Sally was all sad. She's like, I was going to get some dick today. I can't believe what you did. Like, you know, so, yeah.
I was going to get wet, and you ruined it.
I was going to get oily today, and you fucked that up. So, alright. So now that Lightning no longer can connect with Sally, you know, they have a moment where she's like, yeah, I hope you get what you wanted, which is just... That was probably the most generic dialogue, I'll be honest. Like, there's some dialogue that's... bland here, but I will say the most of the dialogue's pretty damn good in this movie.
I think that part it's fine. It's fitting enough. It wasn't corny.
It's not corny, but it's like typical. It's like, yeah, it's like he's not like, it's like, okay, the world came calling to him. What the fuck did you like? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right. So it's either that he stays in Radiator Springs when his fucking truck came in, or he goes and finishes the race. He could come back, you know. Like, I don't know what. Yeah. Like, so, you know.
He doesn't, like McQueen just, like, he just takes it. He doesn't object to it. Nobody, like, pushes him in. He just, like, okay, this is what I gotta do. So it's like, I guess I'll just do it. And Sally's like, yeah, I guess you do. Well, because, like, this is it. Yep. You're gonna go back to your career, and you're gonna be too busy to fuck with us. You're done with, like, you're done with whatever you need to do here, so...
Yeah.
We can't keep you.
Yep.
Cause like he's going back to his fame, and then he's just going to forget about this like small little hillbilly hell he like ran around. So that's it there. That's the assumption there. Because like, they're easily forgotten.
I feel it. Yeah, that's definitely understood. Yeah. You changed my perspective on that. Thank you.
Yay!
So, yeah. So now Lightning is back to where we start at the beginning, but in a new form. Obviously, it is now. Lightning after.
A dream, a shake-ba-doo. I like that song that got stuck in my head.
Yeah, you said that right when we're actually getting to the final race. Now
I know. That's why I had to say it before. Like I was
like, I'm like, why are you bringing it up when we're talking about the final race?
Well, we're backtracking a lot. I was like, oh wait, I forgot about this scene.
All right, so
okay, I was backtracking a lot, but still, it's like there's a lot to mention. That's why this podcast is going on for so long.
Yes,
we got like a lot more to say.
Yes. So
Fucking Pixar movies making us fucking go on for 4 hours.
So what's the runtime right now? 3 hours?
2:45.
Ooh, we might get around.
It's Pixar movies. Dude.
We will, because we stopped to talk about the video games and the shit. So yeah, we're not done. Alright, so we're at the final race. And for you did bring up earlier, it does feel like there's some Toy Story isms throughout where, now as an adult, I hear that. The final race is so triumphant, it just takes, it now feels new. It's no longer taking something that's been there before or whatever. This feels individual. This feels truly like a triumphant final sports thing. And it fits Cars very well in this final race. I think that the score here is fantastic. I love that they're going, so this is what they say is this is literally the Los Angeles International Speedway. They're basically saying this is the LA Coliseum, which is a historic track, but not for racing. But again, cool idea. I appreciate that's a cool idea. And he's just he's getting out there and it's like, man, I don't have anyone, but I'm just gonna have to win this race. He cares about the town. All he can think about is the town. He now has something to care about and consider instead of just himself. And I think that it's a good stark contrast to where we were in the beginning.
So I'm curious, how did they get in? Because I know, it was like...
Mark, I don't fucking...
I know, here's the thing.
Jesus.
Because I get, Lightning McQueen has tickets for up to 25 friends or some shit.
Yes, but
how did they receive the tickets? How did they even know they can get in? How did, they prove that they knew McQueen? Or they probably registered themselves as pit stop?
I don't, Mark. Realistically, they would have been banned at the door and kicked the fuck out. But here, they are here. I will say, the only chance that I think they have is if fucking Doc just showed his bling of... Because he got all painted up. It's like, maybe he showed his bling and he was like, I fucking work with Lightning McQueen. And they just let him in. I don't fucking know. But that's the only chance they have, is what I'm saying. It's Doc saying, I work with Lightning McQueen. He doesn't have any crew chief. I don't know. Fuck. I'm out of options.
And everyone's like, holy shit, it's Doc Hudson, holy shit, it's Doc Hudson, holy shit.
Yeah, so,
and he even has on this written on his side, it's me, the famous Hornet.
Yeah, so, excuse me.
Which is weird. This would be if Michael Jordan actually went, missing, if he was just, gone.
Right.
And he probably just assumed dead. But then, during one of LeBron James's games, you see somebody's coaching him, and it's Michael Jordan. He's like, what the fuck? He's back? He's alive?
This is the worst correlation ever, because Michael Jordan's dad went missing and died. So, not the best correlation ever on the planet. But if Michael Jordan listened to the podcast, it wasn't me, it was Mark.
Can we get some money? Can you donate to us?
Jesus. Alright.
Oh, never mind. Michael Jordan famously doesn't tip.
Is that famously? Is that true?
Well, he's known to not tip. I think, I heard, he spent, $7,000 in a restaurant before, and he just didn't tip at all.
I mean, they're making a lot of money with $7,000. I don't think we need it. If I'm going to be honest, if I just paid you $7,000...
No, that's up to the fucking company, not the fucking worker.
Mark, if I just... So you're telling me you would give a tip if you spent $7,000?
Huh?
If I spent $7,000,
if I had money
that's
to
the tip.
throw, I will tip the waitress. It's just a moral.
No, I do. Yeah, I do understand. Yeah,
because it's not like that was all of his money. He just has money to throw around, but he just doesn't tip.
Yeah, I will say though, if it was like a DoorDash, I'm not tipping. Even if I spent $7,000.
Oh, let's not get into tip economics. I'm not trying to get canceled just yet.
I don't think we're getting canceled.
Not canceled, chewed out.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Welcome to Cars, CartoonChat. Guys, before we go off on a tangent, let's get back on track. Just like Lightning had to get back on track. There were a couple times here where obviously he's within the three. He's with the three, they're racing, it's what, 200, 400 laps. And they're going and going and going and going. And he's just not in it. And then at some point, he looks over and he sees that, or something. I think fucking Doc says something in his ear and is like, hey man, we're over here. Get the fuck in the game. What the fuck are you doing?
Cap on your left.
Yeah, basically. And so, which is cool. You know, because Lightning did need that. So, you know, it helped him out. And
My friends, my family.
through the last few bits of the race, we have Chick Hicks, who, again, he really wants to win this, too. He hits McQueen twice. First time, he hits McQueen, and McQueen just uses Mater's mirror technique, which makes even less sense now than it did then. But again, don't need to think about it. It's all good.
He also says the right, ka-chow.
Yes. The second time, McQueen just catches a flat because he just gets rubbed. Boom. Pops a tire. And this is where we see the skill of Guido. Guido goes in and he's like, man, I've been waiting for this my whole fucking life. And he fixes that flat faster than any fucking tire replacer could ever. Like, just impressive.
The tires midair, too.
Yes. So, golden shit.
Like, holy shit. He's good. Faster than all four of the green guys combined.
Oh yeah, no, they all look fucking shocked. So we get to the final lap, and again, the way that this is set up and structured, it's great. It's very impressive. Great directing here. You really feel the tension, and not the tension, but you feel the stakes are just building and building and building. Because throughout the whole time, McQueen lost a lap, but he has to now gain that lap back, and he had caught up to them by the final lap. In the final lap, you know, you get some words from Doc, and you know, he puts himself full throttle. And Chick Hicks, once again, does the same shit. He does a pit maneuver, basically, on Lightning, and Lightning actually learns Doc's drifting technique fully. He does the Tokyo Drift, and he gets back in the race. Now, Lightning could win this race. Very easy. He's in the first place position. He could close this thing out. Chick Hicks smashes the King. The King is critically damaged, and Chick Hicks is like...
I'm sorry to go off on the quick tangent, but
I was so close to finishing this fucking race.
Yeah, too bad.
God damn.
I have to get you before you finish that race. But it is like Fast and Furious like name is just like it's so nonsensical, yet it's so catchy. Like every time someone says drift, because like even I do this, everyone has to say Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
It's
I think it's Tokyo Drift that's more valuable. I think Tokyo Drift's been memed more than Fast and Furious has. You know what I mean?
Yes. But like it's also replaced the whole word and made it 2 words because like every nerd is like
it's not just
no
drifting.
one can't say drift anymore. It's just like we have to say Tokyo Drift.
Yes. That is a very good point because yeah, that's all you think about. Like yeah, it's like he's Tokyo drifting. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. But yeah, like so.
And like if you just think about the title alone, it's just like it's a stupid nonsensical title. What the fuck is a Tokyo Drift?
It does
drift in Tokyo. I guess.
Yeah, it does.
Why not? Where's the
movie,
American?
I'm
drift?
sorry, Mark. I do have to cut you. I have to do. Look, I mean, I can only go so far.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie,
Fast
so maybe
and Furious knowledge goes at you and is like, yeah, well, that one does make sense because it's about the hills of Japan, and Tokyo, outside of Tokyo, and drifting. So, it did make sense.
I guess I don't know. American Drift. That
No.
doesn't fall off the tongue.
No.
How about Mexican Drift?
You're
Drift?
talking about out of context.
Yeah.
Out of the context.
Yeah.
Oh, out of the context, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what you mean. My bad. I thought you were talking about in context.
Yeah. So yeah, where's Mexico Drift? Where's American Drift? Where's Canada Drift?
I don't know, but I get your drift, man. All right, so
You catch my drift.
I get your drift. So again, Lightning could finish this race. He's right on the edge, but he stops.
Edging.
He literally edges the finish line. He stops. Chick wins.
Should
And
have used that tongue.
he helps the King, and it's a beautiful, respectful assist. It also looks eerily similar to Doc's crash earlier. And by the way, back then I didn't even
History repeats
I didn't mention that, you know, we learn about Doc's history, and Doc's history is that after he crashed, they just moved on with another car. So he probably has a lot of anger with any new race car coming into his environment and potentially taking the leadership role away from him on the town. So it does make sense that he would not be happy with Lightning because it's a deja vu moment of here's a young guy that could easily take this power position out of my town here.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, and also like makes sense that like he knew Lightning was going to like fucking crash into like the canyon because he definitely done that himself multiple times. You can easily assume.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could just see that. Yeah, I mean, because he was going full throttle in the corner. I think he expected that it was just going to be a stock car, casual Lightning expected it to be just a stock car casual race. Wasn't paying attention that the other side doesn't have the banking corners that NASCAR has, and just boom, gravity and momentum. So, yeah. So after the race, Dinoco comes over, and everyone just praises McQueen. No one gives a fuck about Chick Hicks getting the championship. In fact, they punched that confetti at him. They do not give a fuck about that guy. But everyone does love what McQueen. Everyone loves McQueen's growth, and
which is I mean, I still like the ending. I'm just saying it'll be pretty unrealistic because like there's gonna be some asshole fans that are still fans of like chicks. That's his name?
Yeah.
Who's still fans of chicks. Like, oh yeah, fuck all those other cars. You did good, man.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to. This is like a super disbelief.
Especially all the rednecks in NASCAR.
Well, because by the time you're in there's only 3 cars left. It's like you could imagine at least 33% of the people like Chick Hicks, right? I would say most likely more people. That crowd most likely should be split more between the King and Chick Hicks, and Lightning's a rookie, right? So his fan base should still be fairly new. In fact, they zoomed in on the 2 super fans, which were the 2 Miatas that flashed their tits, right? Like, so his fan base should be a lot smaller technically until this moment happens where he helps out the King. So realistically, like half that track should be like,
and there's people making bets, so this shit like Lightning fans should be like pissed, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh yeah, people should be furious.
Losing on purpose. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that I'm sure there'll probably be a penalty for that too.
He had it.
Yes, and he did that. Yeah,
and they'll probably be like a realistic. Just looking at this realistically for fun. It's like there'll probably be a technicality like, no, Lightning McQueen just won, or at least came in second place because that's like not really legal, or it's like not like, or it's like. He's just out. He's retired. Exactly. He's been destroyed. He's retired.
Yes.
That was pointless. What you just did, Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. So. I think at the end of the day, like Chick Hicks, whether you like him or not, like that's a personality that sells in NASCAR, and the whole thing about Chick Hicks is like whether you like him or not, he's been second place the whole time trying to get a championship. And then he finally gets a championship. You're telling me that at least half of that stadium wouldn't be proud of the fact that even if it was like the worst way possible, they still would be like, "Ooh, good job, man! Like you got a fucking championship!" Like, you know, like sports and anything is tough. So Chick Hicks just getting a championship is like a rarity. What you're leaning to the right. There you go. Chick, like, you know, anyone winning a championship is like that's rare. So I don't know, like that's worth praise. I don't like him, but you don't have to like someone that wins a Piston Cup.
Yeah.
It still is it's like going to the Super Bowl and then just like stopping at the fucking touchdown line because someone got injured. It's like, still score the fucking touchdown, then help him out later. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I'd be pissed. Especially if I was one of his fans. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
But I understand the move, and it's an honorable move. But
yeah,
like it is.
There should be more people actually pissed at Lightning. Actually.
Yes, like this is the nice result. Maybe because it's California.
The good ending.
People were like, oh yeah, good job. Like,
oh no, realistically, California would like fucking they'll riot on the streets.
Yeah. So, I don't, look, because I think, like, I don't know, like, dynamic-wise, like, I'm sure, it is what it is. So, also I think, like, it is kind of, so after the race, like I said before, Dinoco offers the sponsor McQueen. Whether you like it or not, get the fucking sponsor and then go to Radiator Springs. Just take it. Take it and then have your headquarters in fucking, what are we doing? Just take them. The backing will help you for the rest of the time. Now, we know, by the way...
They'll get another fucking sponsor. They'll get another fucking race car to just Rusteze will find another race car.
Yes, like, this is the thing, is I know, like, we know what the story is, where it's like, or I do, where it's like, look, he's gonna be Rusteze forever and ever, amen. Like, he's gonna be, like, you know, like, for 2 and 3, like, that's Rusteze, yeah. But, like...
He still keeps Rusteze after that?
But, I don't, after 3, I don't, but 2 and 3, what I know is, when he's racing in 3, he's Rusteze. That's what I'm saying. So, like, he's racing as Rusteze, and it's like, alright, so that's what you're doing. Fine. Cool. Do that. But all I'm saying is at least acknowledge, like, take Dynaco, though. Like, that looks like $1 billion brand over there. Just, that's gonna help you. That's gonna help your health. They don't have fucking shit for you. They're just a bunch of rusty old cars. And I mean, like, I know the whole point is see them as equal. But, like, dude, they're a bunch of rusty old cars.
Yeah.
Look at all the fucking
They'll
backing.
find a sponsor.
Yeah. That's all. So Radiator Springs gets reinvested in, and it becomes a tourist destination. And McQueen also puts his racing base in Radiator Springs, apparently. So that helps out the town there. So that's pretty cool. A+ for that. And
is there anything Dynaco can do for you, Lightning? No. You know one thing.
Yep. You didn't think I'd put it in there. I surely did. Yes, indeed. Mater got to get in the helicopter. Yep. I think he said he feels happier than a twister in a trailer.
I'm glad I doubted you because you did this out of fear that I would doubt you.
No, I did this because you had us do Incredibles with the fucking Elastigirl ass shot for important points that were not about the Elastigirl ass shot.
And where was the fucking pinstripe tattoo shot? Where was this movie's ass shot? Huh?
Where was this movie's ass shot?
This movie had clear fan service and you fucking neglected it.
Everyone mentions the Elastigirl ass shot. No one mentions the Sally ass shot.
Is that a pinstripe tattoo, Lexi?
Yes. So, alright. So, yeah, everything gets reinvested in. Let's get to the ending, the after credits, things like that. We get a really cool Pixar homage in Cars form. This is very cool, man. This is like, hey, let's just take our previous movies and just, outside of Finding Nemo, I think, and just make them into,
No Cars Incredibles? What the fuck is this? No Cars Finding Nemo? They didn't even try to do underwater cars? It could have been a boat story or some shit.
Yep. But yeah, that's what they did. And that's, and again, it was like, it's a cute little
Also,
thing.
they remember Bug's Life exists.
Yes. It's a cute little thing. I think it's more to reference the voice actor, which is a respectful thing. You know, that was cool. So, A+. But, yeah.
Did John, is his name John Ratzenberger?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like, I forgot, does he even have a role in Incredibles? Or no? Like, because I don't remember his voice in Incredibles. That's weird. That's like one of the few, I don't remember his voice in fucking Ratatouille either. It's like,
I mean,
I
now we're getting
listening
to a
to Brad
point where,
Bird
like,
movies.
Mark, I haven't seen Ratatouille in a long time, and
Me neither.
we saw
I know it's a good
Incredibles,
movie, though.
but, like, I remember Incredibles in and out, and I don't...
You and I both know we saw that movie multiple times.
What?
Incredibles.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, I'm just saying, I don't remember, like, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't remember his voice, like, I don't care about Bug's Life, so I guess that's why. Never mind. That's why I don't remember.
I remember his voice in Bug's Life, because he's an actual big character in that one.
Gotcha.
P.T. Flea.
Alright, we're finally done Cars. We can now talk about the legacy. We can now discuss the legacy of the franchise. First things first, we're going to talk about this cool little merchandising deal here. This is a commercial for the Happy Meal run that McDonald's offered Cars, of course, and this was a pretty cool thing.
I know. I got like most of the set except Mater. I kept trying to look for Mater through every McDonald's and like they never had it.
And the reason why is because you could do this.
Hook it up to Cars' asses, and it's the most compatible with every other. See, Mater's in the middle. He's the most important one.
Yes.
Like, that's what I wanted to do with them, and it's like, fuck, I couldn't... it sucked. And my friends
so
had
sad,
Mater.
Mark. Boo.
And my friends had Mater, and I was like, I thought this toy is fucking awesome. Why can it... Like, every McDonald's is out of Maters. And then, like, I was like, fuck, any Mater would do it. It doesn't even have to be a Mater for McDonald's. So I finally found a Mater at a grocery store. They had a Mater toy, but, like, here's the kicker. Mater is, like, known for his backwards driving. So, when you move the toy forward... it goes backwards. I was like,
That's right.
fuck, I cannot win!
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. I believe I had Sally, I had Flo, Sally, Flo, I had Luigi, I had, who else? I don't think I ever had Lightning. I think Lightning and Mater were always hard. You said you had Lightning?
I had Lightning, I think I had, like...
Because Flo was very constant, like, Flo was everywhere. Like,
I had Flo, I had Sally.
Yeah, Flo and Sally were pretty common. Mac, it's like, these were... All the secondary characters, no one really they were everywhere. But Mater and Light, it feels like parents just must have asked for them. You know what I mean? Like, they must have asked for them, like, in the beginning, earlier, because they were fucking rare at a certain point. They were, like, very difficult. You know the funny thing?
I think you had a better average of getting Lightning.
Oh, yeah, no, way better average, yeah, I'm sure. Because the thing about Mater is, again, I think kids like us at the time just liked Mater more. And also, there was capability with Mater. But, by the way, the funny thing is, this only ran from June 9th to July 6th. Now, I'm sure that this still had an extended run through the summer, but this was the year of Happy Feet and Surf's Up and a ton of other movies. So, other things did take over rather quickly.
These are probably really popular toys.
Yeah, but I'm saying, this only ran for, this ran for a month, but after that, it moved on to another movie set, because this was a very packed summer. And, so, even though it feels like they were there, for me, it felt like they were there forever. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like these, I guess because I played with them so long, they felt like they were, available forever. But no, it was just a very brief time that you could actually get these cars. So, yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was, of course, that the Cars franchise by 2011, by the way, before Cars 2 came out, had grossed $10 billion in sales revenue. $10 billion.
That's more than your parents make any.
Oh my fucking god, these comparatives, god damn it. Yeah, I just want to mention that I did have a programmable Lightning McQueen. This was a cool size Lightning McQueen where you could it had arrows on his back, and you could program 6 different buttons. You could go backwards, forwards, right, left, reverse left, reverse right, and you could just program that. And so it was a cool programmable car.
How much they make in sales? $7 billion. I mean, I guess that's still less than a tank of gas nowadays.
Oh my fucking god. All right, moving on, since Mark is clearly out of this conversation and just running on jokes at this point. So let's talk about the physical media sales again. Here's the thing, people just don't count. The DVD, we talked about this earlier, the DVD sales were larger than the American theatrical gross. The total DVD sales made more than the theatrical gross of this movie.
Even though it was only one disc and no
because it was just this. It was just that this movie. Oh, yeah, I think I see 2 discs, Mark. I think you were bold. I think that's not true. I think I see 2 discs going on here. I'm gonna watch this again.
Okay, I will say this: Cars did have a 2-disc edition.
Yes.
But the second disc was a Walmart exclusive.
Yeah.
But from what I know, was not much on it.
Okay.
It still doesn't help.
I was about to say, Mark. Hey, I'm about to myth bust your fucking. Let
me see it. Pause it. Where the fuck is that? That's 1 disc.
Wait, it didn't roll out yet. Fuck.
That's 1 disc.
Oh, there's 1 disc. So you saw the corner of the fucking design there, made it look like there was 2 for a second there.
No, I saw 1 disc. I was trying to see what you were saying. I know these. Right. I know these fucking DVDs. I don't want to
spend a lot of. All right, here. I'll pause it again once we get to it. God damn it! All right. So, once we get.
So I can see what you thought you saw.
Yes.
Because I saw when I saw.
You're like, all right, fucker, you're wrong. It's no, I'm just saying that the design of the fucking background, the graphic design made it look like it was another disc. So, all right. So.
Doing all this.
So okay, so this is already here, and it has literally the color tone of a DVD, does it not?
Yeah, but I already saw that pattern. I already knew what that was.
Okay, good for you. I'm saying you did, motherfucker. I'm saying that I. Okay, so you put this here.
So this is why I was. Yeah, so this is why I was wrong.
I'm trying to fucking give you the props, and you're over here. All right. So, before we move off of physical media sales, motherfucker, before we move off of physical media sales, I do want to mention again, the soundtrack was very popular. Again, because you had the Cars score, but you also had various artists. You had Real Gone, you had 2 versions of Route 66. The John Mayer version is fucking awesome. John Mayer is the one that does the credits version of Route 66. You know? Where they go to St. Louis. It's playing It's like, it's much more pop.
Okay, yeah.
It's much more poppy.
So pretty. Oh yeah, like when the cars are dancing and like Mater's like lip singing.
He's lip syncing, yeah.
Yeah.
Life would, skaboop, life would be a dream and all that shit.
Life would be a dream.
Skaboop, daboop. If we could go back to the 50s and treat black people unequal, yeah. So like that's this soundtrack reached platinum status by I believe 2007, which means it hit 1 million sales. That's fucking huge for a soundtrack.
Okay. I just also want to mention on the DVD there was 2 shorts. The Mater and the Ghost Lamp, which is like a little nice little epilogue. It's just like Mater's trying to play pranks on everybody by scaring them.
Wait,
and then
where was this?
Mater and the Ghost Lamp, it's like when DVDs came out, when Pixar DVDs came out, they would have like a little bonus short.
Oh yeah.
That was the bonus short on the DVD. It was called Mater and the Ghost Lamp, and they allude to that in the movie itself.
Gotcha.
Where Mater references a ghost lamp, and they finally like did a thing like, "Hey, this is what happens if you see a ghost lamp."
I see.
But like, yeah, they're Mater's playing a prank on everyone, and then everyone plays prank on Mater. They just put a lantern on his freaking hooktail, and Mater thinks like, "Oh, it's a ghost lamp!" And they freak out. And it's like, "Ah, Mater, we pranked you."
And then there's a real ghost lamp in the.
No, there was like, but do watch out for the Bowl Destructor or something like that. And everybody just leaves again. And it's like, the Bowl Destructor. And then, like, the end credits play. And then, like, after the end credits, there's, like, a giant monster destructing car. And he's and Mater's like...
Dan Schneider.
No, Mater's like, hey, there's a Bowl Destructor around. If I were you, I'd watch out.
Oh, haha. He's too dumb.
And then he drives away, and the Bowl Destructor's like, huh? And that's the end of that. And I was like, okay, that was cute.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And then the short it was bundled with, I'm pretty sure that played before the movie theatrically, is One Man Band. Kind of a weak short.
Forgettable, yeah.
Very forgettable short. It's about these, like, this girl, she was about to throw a coin in a wishing well.
Oh, you don't have to go through this fucking...
I'm going to. It's short.
God,
it's a short.
This is the most forgettable one. God,
it is.
Fuck, man.
Better than Lava.
Just
I'll watch it more than Lava. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Dude, guys, just watch Bounden again. It's adorable, alright? Just watch Bounden.
And stay away from Lava.
Like,
Lava.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'll watch it more than Lava. That's the worst short. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. But like, oh yeah, she throws a coin. These 2 Ben guys like, hey, give me the coin. Hey, I'll play a band. And then like they make her drop the coin in the sewer, and she's like, give me your fucking shit. Let me show you how to play a band. She like plays 1 note, and then like some guy just drops a whole bag of coins. He came out because it looked like an empty lot, and he just like, I guess like the person with the bag of money just came out of nowhere. He's like, here's all of them. It's like a whole bag of coins, and it's like, that's how you do it. But like, it was like she just played 1 note.
It's weird because this short feels unfinished.
It does.
It looks unfinished. It
feels unfinished.
The pacing is pretty bad. Like
it doesn't tell a fun story either. It's like,
no.
And she gets the bag of coins. Like, you guys want these coins? Well, they're in the well. Go fucking fetch them. And then she walks off.
So many different concepts that could have gotten in front of it, especially early Pixar. Like, I'm surprised this got in
because usually these shorts are tech demos, and it's like,
this looked lame. Yeah, it looked lame.
It wasn't like tech demoing everything.
That's my younger me. This is my younger me saying that. That looked fucking lame. And now me in present, that looked fucking lame.
So I mean, you can imagine like me seeing this year. Actually, it's like, not only was a short not only was the movie not that memorable to Kid Mark, it was like even the short wasn't too. It was just like just kind of weak sauce, just coming after like the Incredibles, and like Incredibles had Bounden and Finding Nemo, and Finding Nemo had a fucking...
I don't remember what Nemo had, but I know it's better than this.
Knick Knack.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
It had Knick Knack.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. We get a little I forgot. This is like way early in the movie. But like when Mac is driving off on the road, we drive past the birds from the short for the birds.
Oh,
They
that's
make a
what
quick cameo.
Are you? That's what those are?
Yeah, those birds. They're from the. That short was before the Monsters Inc. was for Monsters Inc.
Wow.
And that short was called For the Birds. And like when it's like all these birds are making fun of this big bird.
Right.
And they're like, "Hey, get him off this line!" And then they all start flying off, and then they all lose their feathers and are all naked.
That's right.
And they're all hiding behind, like, hide your penis! Our penises are out! Hide us!
Yeah.
And they're like, he's laughing, your dicks are so small, look at you! And they're all hiding behind him.
Verbatim that's exactly what they said. That is literally that's what the whole short was. It's just, all about erectile dysfunction or whatever, so. Yeah, though, I think, like, I could imagine, again, like, I know this didn't have the impact for you, but, again, for me, this was, again, memorable, easily rewatchable. When I was a kid, I just had no interest. Again, when you said, this is how much it changed for me. Like, when you said I want to do a whole Cars run, I was like, I'm good. Like, and I was I have nostalgia for it, but it's like, this is not amazing. It's like, this is what we want to do. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Like, and
I like this movie better
right,
now. I know like what it is, and I don't have the expectations of like The Incredibles and fucking Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo. It's just like it's a nice heartwarming movie.
Yeah,
you start to warm up to the characters and like they start to become comfortable and like this is a nice little heartwarming movie. It's a nice little movie.
Absolutely.
Still doesn't like touch Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, and Finding Nemo for me, but like it's like still fine.
Yeah,
this is definitely over A Bug's Life. This is definitely over A Bug's Life, but like those other Pixar movies, it's like nah.
I think the only other movie that's like as close to this on a low scale before 2000.
I'm not counting anything that came after this.
Okay, all right.
I'm not talking about. That's why I said that's why I mentioned those because this is like everything leading up to it.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Because there's a whole. There's a whole, like, lower tier of Pixar that gets further and further.
Yeah. Again, I had this exact DVD on screen here when I was a kid. I had it for a while, and then I resold it, I think, at a flea market because...
I rented it.
I could
no, I got it from a library at one time, so I can check out the special features, which
like
they're very lack of.
Like you said, yeah, it's, like, very limited and just nothing there.
For a fucking Pixar DVD. I think this is the first... we haven't mentioned it.
I feel like you mentioned the DVD thing.
No, we haven't mentioned it, but, like, I think this is the first movie of Pixar that's owned under Disney. Because there was still
They were still doing Buena Vista distribution for a while, right? Weren't they? And
they were still, like... They weren't owned by Disney up from The Incredibles, but I think, like...
No, but this happened about 4 months before Pixar was... This was... Cars came out 4 months after Pixar was purchased by Disney. So, yeah.
4 months before?
4 months... Did I say before or after? I thought I said after.
You said before.
Oh, this... Okay, the acquisition happened 4 months before Cars came out.
Yeah, so this is like a kind of a winds of change going on.
Yeah.
So, I guess like that probably applied to the DVD because it's a Disney fucking DVD now.
Indeed. All right. Now moving on. Mark, I know you have you have a PowerPoint yourself of sort of the discussion on the video game topic. We played a few of these video games just as a catcher up, but did you want to talk about Cars the video game now, or did you want to just toss in your slides now and roll with that?
I as well.
All right.
Plug this in. This is my first time hooking up my.
I'm gonna pause.
All right, so we got Cars. Because we're gonna cover every game that came out before Cars 2.
Yeah, because of course this spawned a cool number of Cars video games. You'll say the number obviously later, but this was this was back in an era where license-based games were based from movies and TV shows were much more often and had more effort put into them.
Oh yeah. Here's a cutscene from the first game.
Hey, Mater.
Oh my god.
It's nice to finally be back in Radiator Springs. I want you. What?
Oh my god.
I was saying that the whole time. Oh yeah, so here we have a couple versions of the first game. So this is the Game Boy Advance one. And
this is Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, this controls like ass.
It looks better than I imagined.
It looks really good for a Game Boy Advance game, but like these controls are slippery as fuck. Look how fast McQueen is going.
Yeah.
Now imagine controlling that with a fucking Game Boy Advance D-pad. Jesus Christ.
He is faster than fast, so I mean, this kind of is accurate.
Smoking crack.
I mean, it is also weird that there are real cars here. You see, he's racing against he's passing by real cars, like not like real cars with life, like cars that have no sentience. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's. So did you play or just watch? You were just watching.
I played it.
Is it?
That's why I said slippery as fuck.
It's slippery as fuck. Okay. All right. I mean, again, nothing to. What the fuck is that?
Okay, so.
There's no way is that Cars on DS?
This is Cars on DS. So, this game is like, it's slippery. While Cars on the Game Boy Advance is more it's an actual racing game, this one is just a minigame collection. So this minigame you have to touch the screen and pick a lane. You like each character has their own minigame.
Wow.
Flow, you have to like rub the cars to fill them up with gas.
How's it? What?
And like I guess this one you have to trade lanes too. Yeah, 'cause it's not really much of a racing game.
Huh.
It's just a minigame collection. Like I remember one I was playing back then. It was like Mater. He was driving backwards, and to drive backwards you have to like keep tapping the touch screen left and right, left and right, left and right as fast as you can, so it can keep going, so you can keep driving backwards super fast.
That looks like probably the poorest adaptation. I'm surprised the DS version looks worse off than the GBA version. Of course,
I know, right?
This is the.
I'll say it's more functional though.
I see. This is obviously the PS2 version.
Yeah, that's the one you and I have the most experience with. Or
yes.
You have the most experience with.
Absolutely. And well, you want to share your thoughts first, or I can just.
My first time playing it was in front of you, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
These are fine games. Like they control just fine. I was just like burst through them because we have after this we have Mater's International and Cars Orama.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't want to downplay though that the key thing about Cars, the movie, or Cars the video game that was on PS2 and on modern platforms. Since that, Cars the video game that was on modern platforms, or not modern platforms at the time, because I guess you could say that PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and 360 was that it's a fully fleshed open world. And this game engine for the time was pretty solid. I mean, obviously in future games they would keep building more and more on top of it. But, I mean, you had customizable characters, you had an open world. There was a lot to do in this setting. It really just it gave you the ability to travel throughout this area of Radiator Springs that you had seen in the movies. You could go over to the Willie's Butte. You could go and travel on the main street. You had a bunch of different races. You could do the tractor tipping is actually a part of the campaign.
Brian, do you always have to bring race into this?
Of course, but the tractor tipping is involved later on in the game. There's so many fun things, and then the big beast one comes in. You race on the actual track as well. The circuit that's in the movie, of course. Later on, it's very well executed. I
love the hub. I love going around the hub. We're going around Radiator Springs. This is what I miss.
Yes,
this is what I miss about licensed games, at least the good ones, because it's you see a good environment in the movie, and it's the video game you can explore the environment.
Yes,
and they'll give usually a lot of movies have extra concept art that they don't get to showcase in the movie, so they give it to their other things making their media, so probably their toy brands or whatever, and sometimes their video games will use that stuff, and you get to see the extra stuff of the world that the developers had planned for it that they'll put in the video game. A good example is the first Kung Fu Panda movie.
Right.
They had they designed these weird robots. Not robot, it kind of robots. It's something that looked like it came out of the training dojo.
Okay.
Or like all those traps and stuff, like little wooden robots that like smack back and forth.
Just bots.
They had that plan for the Furious Five to fight in the dojo.
Right.
But they didn't end up like using that scene, so they gave all that concept art to like their video for like to all their other medias, and like the video game developers use that.
Right.
Because those are actually from the designers of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the effort in this game. Again, this is back when THQ was the great middle tier publisher, and you'd have at least solid movie based games, and again, one of the other things is this was split screen. You had great soundtracks. Again, like this is probably more complete than like most AAA games come out now. I mean, that's what's so depressing about the present.
I mean, back then, like a lot of games had to be like complete because that's the end all to be all package.
I mean, true.
Nowadays, games are just like,
I mean, now
we'll patch it later. Yeah. Should we add this extra thing? No, we can charge them extra for it later.
Yes, I mean that's true. Yeah, it still doesn't mean it's good, but yeah. Go ahead. You can move on because I think it just shows how big of a deal it is how big it was. Did we play Radiator Screen?
Nope. This is all me. This is a PC only game.
Okay.
And it's mostly just like point and click. So I'm just gonna skim through because this is my footage from the PC version.
Okay.
But like, GMA is great to be back in Radiator Springs. But like, yeah, this is a point and click. Again, just like the DS game, it's like a bunch of mini games collection. This is a rhythm game with like lame music, just Simon Says, and you only use the mouse and cursor. This is like a decent puzzle game. You have to figure out how to get like McQueen out in the driveway.
Jesus, it's like those 58 smartphone games.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ.
But this is before smartphones, so like I'll give it props for that. But like, this is like nice to figure out. I like this kind of puzzle.
Yeah. Simple enough to make. Not too bad. Not too bad. Anything else here in this game?
Tires Luigi.
Okay.
It's like a decent make. Like the hitbox is so big, you can just catch a tire not to be anywhere near it.
I see.
But like this, is how races are done. You have to like you click when the gear at the top right of the screen. Before that hits the yellow, you have to click it just to make sure like
you shift up.
It took me a while to realize that too.
I see.
Yeah. So like I started winning after I fucking realized. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Okay.
But yeah.
Took some getting.
Pretty. Yeah. It's pretty lame, but these are like point and click. This is how point and click games were back then.
Yeah, and they've now moved to smartphones.
Yeah.
I mean, what's funny is that game is pretty much the example of what most games are, most movie-based video like games are, because they just go to phones and they're simple ass fucking, like, oh, just move this puzzle. Oh, you want a fucking fruit thing, basically. Oh, you want a puzzle thing. Like, it's so fucking limited now. But again, here's another one right here. We played this one, obviously. Cars Made International. I just want to briefly touch on this after seeing it. It's like, again, we talked about Cars, the video game, the Cars video game that came out alongside the movie. It's like that was built up on a great platform, and they just took that platform and just kept milking it, right?
Yeah, the same engine and game and assets, they kind of just like reused them. Like, even to the point where they were so lazy they reused the fucking menu and the menu music.
Yes. Which
like,
is that's bare bones right there. If you just come on, man. Like, you're making a brand new game and you could.
Oh, they have the monster trucks and the Boomobile. I didn't know that.
I mean, like, yeah, there's going to be, like, okay, so that's like if you add skins to a game. It's like, all right, what else did you do? Well, again, the engine is the same. The map is essentially the same. You have a couple more tracks. That's good.
A few more characters to play as.
And a few more characters. So it's a DLC pack for a full price is what you could call this. You know what I mean?
That's how things were back then.
Yeah.
It's, this also had, like, a Game Boy Advance version, a DS version. The Game Boy Advance version is actually behind a back view, and it's a little better. Okay. Still, like, it's GBA, like, rally racing.
Gotcha.
Not anything special. Doesn't feel like all that great either. But, like,
just mid.
Hey, it's behind the back view and it looks okay. There was better racing games we played that was on the GBA.
Absolutely.
The DS one is also an actual racing game this time as well, and it's also behind the back view. The controls are a bit, But like it's a basic rally car race, nothing special about it. No adrenaline or anything. And then like we go to Cars Orama, which I thought that was different because it used a nicer logo and like I like the look of the
people. Well, you did mention that people did talk a lot about
cars
Orama.
and games in general, not Orama specifically.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people brought up like these games as being enjoyable. It's like, well, again, this is another example of a game that was built on the same engine again, and you keep adding more and more and more, and at a certain point, it's not going to run well. For instance, I mean, this was still on the PS2, and at a certain point, you just can't keep putting stuff on the PS2 and expecting it to run fine.
We played it, but just to mention, folks, we played the PS2 version of all these games. But a lot of them were available for like Wii, some of the HD consoles.
Yeah, they were. By this point, it was PS3 360, I believe, for Race-O-Rama. So, it's like this is where you want to be on the next gen. At that point, the current gen. By that point, yeah, Xbox 360, PS3, all that. Yeah. So, go ahead. Can you go to the last 3 seconds there, where it actually showed all the platforms there? Just wanted to see what platforms.
I'm gonna go forward. There you go. There's my mouse.
Haha. And then 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, so yeah, PSP even. I wonder what the PSP looks like.
Probably more the same. Just like downgrade.
I think it ran probably if PS2 could barely run Race-O-Rama, I'm sure that it had terrible times running Cars Race-O-Rama on.
Okay, yeah. PSP. So the DS one is just the same.
It's the same
engine from the from Raider Nation DS.
Wow. Okay.
So it's kind of reskinned of that.
Yeah.
Some different track layouts.
And this is back when DS was still was the portable console to get. This was back when DS was huge.
While fucking Racer-O-Rama was just using the same Cars engine as the other games, the DS version was also reusing the engine from the last DS game.
Right.
And it's had no Game Boy variant this time.
Yeah.
These games are just they're just okay racers.
I will give props to the original just because again that's the skeleton for which all of this was sort of towering more into, you know what I mean? Like because that base game, the Cars game that launched with the movie offered so much to the table for, I think this wasn't even full price, by the way, because it was THQ and it was a mid-tier game, but it offered so much to audiences that it was very impressive. And the problem was they kept milking that same platform for game after game after game, and at a certain point, you can't keep doing that without evolving that product. So I think that's the bigger problem with the Cars video games, at least, is the first game was good, and the next few games
they just kept making DLC packs.
Thank you. You summed it up perfectly.
You already said it earlier. I'm just like,
I was saying
full circle.
Thank you. I was saying the same thing over and over. So, all right, let's get to the last. What's up?
Pause it.
Last but not least, of course, got to talk about the last piece of legacy material. Oh god, that's not the last piece of legacy because there's still the little franchise notes that we will talk about briefly. But in terms of,
are you sure you want to talk about them after for the next one?
So we'll touch them briefly.
Okay.
Outside of the theatrical stuff, the last thing I want to bring up is you talked about video games, you talked about the physical media. Let's talk, and we talked about merchandise. Let's talk about Cars Land here. Now, we have someone that actually did go see Cars Land. They've checked it out.
Ooh.
This was a major project that was announced a year after Cars came out. It didn't come...
Oh, it was only a year after Cars came out?
2007.
Huh.
And it didn't come into fruition until 2012. That's when it was fully completed.
That's after Cars 2.
And that's after Cars 2. So, Mark, what did you think of Cars Land? What can you say it offered? And obviously, as someone that hadn't seen Cars in a long time and was deeply disappointed in Cars, how did you feel going to Cars Land?
It was like I was actually in the ghetto. Like,
oh my God.
There was fucking hookers on the side of
I think you went to Los Angeles.
Mark, that was just Los Angeles.
Go fuck.
Okay, so Cars Land. I still did watch the first movie. I still remember the first movie vividly enough. So California Adventure is not that great. This is probably the best part of California Adventure, like, easily. Because Adventures Campus is fucking crap right now. Well, it has, like, fucking 2 rides, which is just, like, Tower of Terror reskinned. Tower of Terror is good, but it's just reskinned.
Isn't that Guardians?
Yep, it's Guardians now.
Yeah.
And that shitty-ass Spider-Man 3D ride, which is just bad. You do this and shoot webs, and it's just a fucking shooting gallery, and it's not fun. It's a bad ride. And how does fucking Universal, that Spider-Man ride is like over 10 years old, how do they still have the better Spider-Man ride?
Because, say it with me, Disney doesn't care about amusements, they care about money. Back to you, Mark.
It would make more money if they got the amusements right. Fuck!
But, outside of the garbage of Avengers Campus, what about Cars Land? You said it's the best part. Why is it the best part?
It's a big part, and it's like, Radiator Springs itself is probably one of, like, it's one of the best looking areas in California, and it's like the most you feel like you're inside the movie it comes from. Especially when it turns at night and like the neon lights, neon signs come on and they play that song. It's so nice. It is so great. It is worth just going to California Adventure. It is worth just going to that. Like, if you, like, whenever you get the money to get to California and you can get to Anaheim, you gotta go here. This is worth the admission for California Adventure. You just go here and you go out. Right? Yeah, it's a really good area. There's only one real ride there, because there's other rides where they're like kiddie ones where it's like the Swirl-O-Matic or something like that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the real ride, the Cars ride, is actually really good because it's a dark ride. If you don't know what dark rides are, you know, it's like a kind of a tour ride.
Oh, that's where the lady comes out with a whip, and it gives you a ball gag, right? That's the dark ride.
The fuck are you into? The fuck are you into?
You said dark ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a literal term.
Explain it to the children.
That's a literal term, you idiot.
Yeah, explain it to the children.
For those type of rides, because like it's dark rides are like slowly going through like they're showing you story beats. Like if you go to the Winnie the Pooh dark ride, it will just like it's a slow ride. And the cart will turn to the left to show you one part of the Pooh story. The cart will turn to the right to show you one part of the Pooh story. You see the little animatronic inside.
Not really a ride, more just a journey.
Yes.
I see.
But, like, it's kind of both a ride and a journey. So you go through, like, Radiator Springs, and it's, like, a cool little ride. And you, like, by the way, the Cars models themselves translate really well to animatronics. Like, they are really nice. Like, it's, because, like, you know, they just animate, they animate the eyes. And,
right.
All you do is animate the eyes on them. Also, like, if you hang around Radiator Springs, sometimes some of the cars come out. So sometimes you see Mater or Sally or Lightning McQueen just, like, driving around. There are guards around it.
Well,
like, just like the mascot, so people don't, like, fucking touch it and get their grubby hands on the animatronics. But it is cool.
I imagine that is cool that they would just drive down the streets of Radiator Springs, but I definitely imagine that you would need some sort of blockading because, I mean, you have a moving vehicle that is an animatronic, so... I
know. It's best if they were there. I probably would have tried to hop on Lightning McQueen's back.
Exactly.
I probably would have hopped on Sally's back.
I was about to say, that's what you're going to do. Yeah.
We were talking about that Porsche trailer.
You're going to get to the... you're going to get to go to the real one as well. You're going to get to the real one. That's cool.
Oh, God, we got another one stripping again!
Anything else about Cars Land you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, but yeah, it's a fun ride. It also... It's the longest wait in California Adventure. It was like 120 something minutes.
The length of fucking Cars? I could just watch Cars.
Cars are 2 hours.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. The 120 something was an underestimate. That one was long as fuck. And my sister was tired of waiting, so she left the line. But like, something you can do is like you can like hold a spot for family. So like all my sister had to do was like walk back inside the line. I gotta get to my brother. I'm like, oh, and she's able to actually get back in line. Get back in line with my spot. Okay, good. So, because I was just chilling. I was just like watching episodes of Spectacular Spider-Man on my phone. I was just like waiting in line.
Yeah, I can't do 2 hours straight of fucking waiting in a line. I'd probably fucking lose a goddamn lug nut. You know?
I'm just leaning on shit. I'm just like paying attention to my phone. I'm just like watching shit on my phone.
I'm not paying over $200 a day.
That's that's the amusement park life, my boy.
That's the Disney.
Get used to it.
That's the Disney. Get it right. That is the Disney amusement park ride life, my boy.
Fuck you. That is all amusement parks.
No, it is not.
You're telling somebody with experience.
I go to Hershey Park. I've gone to Hershey Park.
Okay, that's a real amusement park. Go to fucking Universal Studios.
I don't need
lines everywhere.
I'm not spending. You see, that's the problem. You go to the ones that everyone goes to. I go to the ones
that have actual budgets.
By the way, you
in their fucking rides.
By the way, you go on peak days. You go on days where you don't give a fuck. You're just gonna go. I am gonna.
What do you mean I go on peak days? Not always peak days.
All right, whatever. Either way, like, there's no fucking way.
That's a normal day at fucking Disney World. That's a normal day at fucking Universal.
And that's why I'm not going, because there's no fucking way I'm waiting 2 hours after spending.
You want to go. You know you go.
After spending $200 or more on a ticket to get in, and then I have to
because
wait.
If the attraction is good as fuck, it's worth it. The Cars
for 2 hours. For 2 hours of my
the Cars one is worth it because you gotta see it. The fucking Rise of Resistance is fucking worth it.
Cool. I'll make
Space
sure.
Mountain. Rise of Resistance is fucking worth it.
I'll make sure I'll wait 5 fucking hours.
Space Mountain is probably not worth it, but it's a good ass ride.
I thought you said you liked Space Mountain.
I love Space Mountain.
Yeah.
But it's a good ass ride. It's probably not worth that. It's probably not worth a 70 fucking 5 minute wait though.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, Cars Land, you guys, check it out if you want to wait multiple hours.
One more.
Oh, God.
There's also a Cars attraction in Disney Hollywood Studios in Florida. But it's not anything close to Radiator Springs. It's just like an animatronic showcase. And it's like a little small auditorium. And Lightning McQueen, it's just like a Lightning McQueen and a animatronic in the middle, and he's like kind of like talking to the audience, and he's like doing like there's a screen behind him, and he's like doing like a racing simulator in a way, and he's saying Chick, what is the guy Michael Keaton's name?
Chick Hicks.
Chick Hicks is like taunting him over the VR simulator, and like, bet you can't win a race against me. Oh yeah, and he does the VR simulator race. By that I mean he just the car is in place, and the screen is in front of him, but he's just kind of moving in a first person view.
Yes, I get you.
Yeah, so
it's a pretty lame investment.
Anyway, but it's a cute little animatronic showcase, and
I'm sure
the Lightning McQueen because it's just to show off these cars animatronics are really good.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that I spent $300 on a ticket to see.
It's not that much.
Animatronic.
Wow, this is coming from you. Are so salty that you don't get to go.
No, I'm just okay. So how much is it to get into which park is that?
It is kind of $300 because.
So then I wasn't wrong.
No, because the plane trip, because the hotels. If you got one, you gotta get an Uber there.
No, outside of that, how much is a single ticket? Isn't it
90 something?
All right, so
it's under 100.
So I'm paying.
Or I think the highest is probably 108.
Right, so I'm paying $100 to see an animatronic. Obviously, the rest of the park. All right, I'll shut the fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, there's no way I'm waiting 2 fucking hours on
the line. The line for those kind of shit.
Of course, it's nothing because it's not interesting.
Yeah, because nobody wants to go to it.
Yeah, because
the only reason I wasn't going to go to it, but the only reason
because you secretly like Lightning McQueen, all right?
No. Because it was right next to the Rock and Roller Coaster ride, which is an awesome roller coaster. But at that point, I didn't get to go on it because I was waiting in line, and then it broke down.
Well, shit.
And then and then it was what the fuck am I gonna do? Because the park is about to close, and the ride just broke down. And I was in line for it, so it's Lightning McQueen showcase is right next door. I might as well fucking see what this shit is. And that's the only reason that everybody else went there too, because people who were in line for that roller coaster were fuck, I might as well check this bullshit out. Usually for attractions that are just shows, are very low or has very short lines because those are just shows, not rides.
Makes sense.
But it's more of a break. It's more of a break, especially if you go on a hot day. It's these type of attractions have AC and shit, and you're taking a break from walking.
Yeah, it's hey, man,
you're being entertained in some way.
It's hey man, we know that you spent lots of money with your family to get your whole family here. And you had to wait multiple hours for the actual cool rides. So here's a fucking shit ride that you can see.
No, it's more here's some puppets. And hey, I like puppets.
Wow.
And like the puppets are dancing, and I clap my hands. I'm like, "Yay, puppets!"
I really feel great about my $500.
Fuck you, I like
my
puppets.
Family. Yay, I love it. All right, so
that's your problem. You're going with a family. I went single.
of course, yes. All right, moving on. Fucking Disneyland, go check it out. It's Cars Land. Go spend 3 hours.
Take Bryan with you.
No. You guys can go and then let me save my spot in line, motherfucker. So that
No.
Yes.
Bryan,
Yes.
Bryan will save your spot in line.
Fuck no.
Bryan will save your spot in
Fuck
line.
no, dude. Fuck no.
Like, take Bryan with you, and like he'll wait in line. He's a line holder. He's your designated line holder. That's his job now.
Oh my god. All right. Let's close this out. So, obviously the legacy of Cars is significant. We will obviously
Cars don't have legs.
We will obviously be doing a focus on the sequel because Mark really wants to fucking find that one out. The sequel Cars 2 and the trilogy closer Cars 3.
This is the longest. I'm gonna tell you right now, folks. This is going to be easily just the longest Cars podcast.
I mean, there's a lot to say about Cars 2. So,
we'll see.
No,
I'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of dog shit to talk about with fucking Cars.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So, but the legacy of Cars is long stretching. It came out in 2006. You had Cars 2, which we will talk about in 2011, and you had Cars 3 in 2017. In between Cars 2 and 3, Planes was actually debuted, led by John Lasseter, who kind of kicked Disney Toon into doing production of this expanded universe idea for Cars, making focus on planes. Everyone laughed about planes at first, but it made money, which we were all like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, you remember when the trailer, we were like,
Yep.
There's no fucking way, that's crazy, they're actually doing the planes. And then it made money. It made fucking money. And then a second one came out. And then they killed off Disney Toon Studios. Planes is done. And Cars is still continuing as we speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been...
They really shouldn't have alluded to that Towers crossover at like the fucking end of Planes 2.
I agree, Mark, even though I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, the fucking... At the end of Planes 2, there was like a post-credit scene where there was sentient towers.
Yeah, totally. Totally, Mark. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
There's 2 sentient towers.
Yes, and there were cars inside the towers, so it counts as sentience inside the towers. You know, the towers were alive, so now the next movie will be Towers, so shut the fuck up. This has been Cartoon Chat, the animation conversation after a long stretch. Mark, give us the time count. 3 hours, 35 minutes.
The whole this was 2 minutes long. It felt like forever. No, it was like 3 hours.
2 minutes long.
Felt like forever.
Yes.
But we went got through this pretty quick now. It's 3 hours and 48 minutes. Not long, not as long as The Incredibles.
Yeah, I mean, if we beat Incredibles of Cars, that'd be fucking wild. I think we're getting close. Isn't Incredibles like 402 or something?
Well, here's the thing. We know Incredibles in and out. Cars raises so many questions.
You know, the other thing is, I don't think we had videos in Incredibles. I think it was all just pictures.
It was all my pictures.
But the thing is, we have videos here that extended the runtime here. So, technically...
We didn't have a big argument. We just had questions.
Questions?
In Cars.
Oh, in Cars. I thought you were talking about in Incredibles.
Incredibles, we just had a big argument.
I don't think we had... What was our argument in Incredibles?
That, like, Incredibles deserved, like, a 2D show, and he was like, no.
Well, it does... Okay, fuck. God, I'm not getting into this.
We're done!
So, Cars would be... again, and Cars has a bunch of that shit already. But I'm saying Cars is the perfect fucking franchise for this. Incredibles is too good for this. For that. That's what I'm saying. Like, keep the bar high for Incredibles, and fuck the bar for Cars, alright? There's no need to keep... And Cars 2 did that. Fuck the lore. No one cares. Cars 2, don't give a fuck. They just let shit happen.
They could have had, like, a show with, like... I think it probably wouldn't even look that bad if they just had, like, a show with, like, cheaper CG.
I agree. Whoa. Well, we did see fucking bad guys. There's a limit. There's a limit to how bad not hiring people can go.
No, you can do good television. You can do, like, decent television. Kung Fu Panda Legend of Austin didn't look that bad. That was just a shitty production. That was just bad. The bad guys.
Megamind and Bad Guys has ruined so
Whoever
much.
was on that, they just did a terrible job.
Who the fuck was on that?
I don't know, but like Kung Fu Panda Legends of Austin didn't look that bad, and Pandas of Madagascar was fine too.
Penguins of Madagascar look pretty damn solid for 2009
Yeah,
technology.
It was the people who were on it that just did a bad job.
Yeah, because what? Kung Fu Panda, Legend, and then Madagascar Legend, Kung Fu Panda, and then Penguins, and then what else? What was the third one? Oh, Dragons was on Cartoon Network. Dragons looked pretty good too. The Dragons
they just had bad people on fucking shitty budget on Megamind and fucking the Bad Guys Christmas Special.
Was that on Peacock or Netflix? What was that on?
The Bad Guys Christmas Special was on Netflix.
What?
Megamind 2 was Peacock.
Yeah, because it's owned by Comcast.
Peas and Cocks. It's owned by Peas and Cocks.
It's owned, yeah.
Cocks that pee. It's owned by Cocks that pee.
I'm gonna be honest, you sound like Eminem. I got mad.
I did sing one of his songs during April Fool's video.
Mom,
so
yeah, Spaghetti. Man, that was funny as fuck.
Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah. Because you just kept saying Mom Spaghetti, Spaghetti, Ready, Medi.
Mom Spaghetti.
Because you said you're doing the lyrics to Lose Yourself, but you were doing them.
Oh no, I was doing the lyrics to Rap God, and I only did the chorus part where he's rapping super fast.
I feel like it wasn't Lose Yourself. I thought it was.
It was Rap God.
Oh, why does my brain think you did fucking Mom? But
because it's funnier.
No, but Mom Spaghetti is literally from Lose Yourself. That's where Mom Spaghetti is from. It's from Lose Yourself.
I know, but I thought it would be funnier to do the super fast portion of Rap God.
I think
that was a joke.
I think your melody sounded like Lose Yourself.
Oh, we can look at it after I'm done.
We can just go.
Nobody knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Wait, did you save it?
What?
When you said Mom Spaghetti.
Here?
I don't remember where you said it. You said we can look back at it. There's some source of recording where we could actually look back at it.
Oh no, so you can see it was Rap God. You'll remember.
No, I know what Rap God sounds like. I'm just saying that in my memory, all I remember.
You have to cut this part because no one knows what the fuck we're talking about.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, no one. Guys, this is Cartoon Chat, the animation conversation. Of course, you can find that man right over there at
K9 Business. That's K9BOSKUTS. I want to do a joke, but we're fucking going forever.
I was trying to
I'm
gonna be honest. I was trying to get us to 4 hours. We're just gonna wrap this up fully. Okay. Appreciate you guys for listening. Of course, this is the ScreenBlast pod. This is not the ScreenBlast podcast, but this is Cartoon Chat, part of the ScreenBlast Society. Of course, you can find this. You can find Blasting Trouble Reports, our video game-centric conversation. You can find Mark and Bryan Have a Cow, the land of memes, the land of awesome commercials, the land of nostalgia, the land of fun, the land of fidget spinners. You can find them over at Mark and Bryan Have a Cow. You hear that noise? That's the sound of love. That's the sound of passion. That's the sound of lust. Mark rubbing his hand slowly, gliding it against that fidget spinner out of romantic intention. You can find, of course, you can find us at, ScreenBlast Podcast, of course, we can talk TV shows, movies, classic movies, anything in the world of video, we talk about it on ScreenBlast. And then you can find, Cartoon Chat there as well.
The fucking tablet died.
All good. I've got this one over here. Guys.
You don't have the stop recording button. No, you don't got it.
I don't.
It's on me.
I can just pause it. I don't need to stop. I can just pause it. What the fuck? I'm almost done this, and you stretched it by fucking talking. God damn it.
Well, keep going.
All right. So, guys.
You could have ignored me.
Of course, again, find all of this at ScreenBlastPodcast.com. You can find me at Bryan the Baltimorean. You can find me at Democracy on YouTube. That's ATHEMOCRACY.com. And you can find me, of course, right here on ScreenBlast and Cartoon Chat. You can find Mark. Mark, where can they find you?
K9 Business, K9BISKUTS.com.
And, of course, you can find him right here on ScreenBlast and Cartoon Chat. Guys, appreciate you for watching. And
look at everybody! I'm